Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. It is I, Classic Sam and my GM, and I have a really special guest. I am super excited. It is OhHelloMere. Look, it's Mere.
Hello. Hi.
How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm
Oh, you're
so,
so nice.
I'm so excited. I'm super excited about this. I am super excited. I know you guys. Listen, you did not see the normal Instagram, Twitch stuff that normally pops up for the for the few days. I've been busy. Get over
Hmm.
yourselves, okay? I Give me a break here. Okay, but we're gonna have a good time. We're gonna chat. We're gonna talk all things nerdy and twitchy and all the other stuff. And as always, if you have any questions for Mir, please, 50 channel points. That's all it takes. You redeem those channel points, and at the end, we'll ask all those questions, and it'll be amazing, and it's gonna be great, and you're gonna love it. So that's it.
Hmm.
But I thank you for being here. I love that you're here. Oh my God, the lemon. Oh, I want
I have
lemonade.
I love these. Yeah, I love these big lemonade cups. It's just I feel like I put like a I put like a ginger syrup in there, and I
Mm.
was doing that thing where I was like, what is that feeling? But it's like the little like fibers of ginger. But I took like the sip right before we started, and it was like,
That's
mm,
that's a lot. That's a lot.
so.
That's a lot.
Mhm.
Delicious, delicious.
Mhm.
So I wanted to.
Now that I know what it is, I'm
It's
fine.
it's fine. It's one of those things that you like. You have an expectation of what's supposed to be like, and
Yeah.
then you get something else. You're like, I don't know what that is, and I don't know how I feel about it.
It makes me think of like the shows because I love watching cooking shows. So it makes me think of Is It Cake? Where like if you
Mm.
make a bunch of cake and it looks like sushi and like you are gonna like
Yes.
pick it up and you're gonna like eat it, but then it's like,
It's cake, and you're like,
raspberry puree in there. I know, it's
and
like
your
that
brain
kind of
goes,
messes with
no,
your
don't
mind.
do that. Don't like my brain just goes, don't do that. I don't like it. Don't do that. Like this should be sushi. It makes me upsets me, but that's okay. It's fine.
Yeah, yeah.
It's upsetting, but it's
I mean,
fine.
I love the shows that do that. I don't know if I could like sit and judge one.
I can't.
I just don't think I could eat that much sugar all in one sitting.
Also, yeah, that's a lot. I feel
It's
like
a
I would be
lot.
bouncing off the walls by the end of the show, or I'd be shaking. Like I'd be like, like
Yeah,
it'd be
this
bad.
bzzzt.
Like
Exactly.
totally buzzing. But I wanted to ask,
Mhm.
so you're part of the TTRPG universe. We
Yeah.
love you and adore you. Um, on Castleton and a bunch of other places that I love hanging out and watching you, and I lurk a lot. What came first for you? TTRPG performing, or did you just start streaming? How did you come into this universe?
Oh, good question. I started streaming first. So I'm a teacher is my day job. So
Okay.
I'm an educator, and of course, 2020 happened to everyone.
Yes.
And when it happened to everyone, like kind of even going back a little further, before I started teaching in the classroom, I was teaching English as a second language online. So the
Okay.
kids overseas. So I ended up spending a lot of time like, cat, good job. And there was a whole lot of that. My poor husband, me doing that at 4 a.m. Bless his heart. Uh,
Like,
but
cat. I'm sorry, I
cat,
just got the whole visual.
cat.
CAT.
Yeah,
Cat.
you get a star, right? It was very much that.
Hmm.
And then I started and then during the pandemic, we started watching all of the streamers who were playing Among Us, right? It was just
Ooh,
like for us, it was
yes.
just kind of much like a lot of people did at that time. It was like that. And I just thought I was like, I could try to do that. And
Mm-hmm.
I I started playing a lot of Animal Crossing. I had not had a
Oh
gaming
wow.
system again, like from the teenager years to until after I was 30.
Really?
I did not grow up a gamer. The
Okay.
all of the systems we had were bought from pawn shops like 5 to 7 years after
Oh,
that
they came
system was
out.
the big one.
Okay. Oh,
Yeah.
gotcha. Okay. So
So
you were
like,
like behind,
well,
behind.
when other folks had the Wii, I was rocking the N64, right? It was
Oh
completely,
wow. Wow.
yeah, a Wii when we okay, Cat, you gotta stop scratching my chair like this. Not like this.
Like
When
that.
we were
That's
growing up, the pawn shop was like our big like weekend treat.
wow.
Yeah, and so when we did that, Like we got the N64. That was how I got things like Pokemon Snap.
Mm-hmm.
Before that, I did have a Game Boy. That was, I think, the only like new gift that I had gotten video game wise
Mm-hmm.
was a Game Boy Color. It was the Game Boy Color that had the Pokemon on it. And it was when
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Pokemon Yellow
Yeah.
came out.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So that was like the first little bit of gaming. Well, I watched folks doing that, and then during COVID, my husband and I bought a Switch because he liked Mario Kart, and so we that was
Mm-hmm.
our thing. We started playing things like that, little Mario Party together.
Mm-hmm.
We started watching the other streamers as they would do that, and I was like, I could probably do that. I mean, I was
I can
teaching
do this.
online,
Yeah.
like I was like we were teaching remotely at the same time,
Oh, that's
and kids
right. You guys were
just
doing school online. Everything
yeah.
was online, so it was
For
like,
about a year, I was teaching online, and it's just the same sort of thing. And you know what? Teaching a classroom full of kids who don't want to be online and don't have their cameras on,
yeah.
and are not responding to you, feels very similar to talking to 0 people in Twitch chat. So it built a lot of I don't know what you would call it, um tolerance.
Yes.
It built a
Yes.
lot of like I've always been a talker,
Mm-hmm.
so it just let me sit there and go, hey, maybe someone's out there, and then sometimes someone will pop in and say hey, and I'm like, hey,
Hey.
how's it going? That's nice.
Hi.
um
Hi. Thank you for being here and watching me do this.
yeah, like, or like the one chat that happens is just lurk, and I was like, thank you,
Yeah.
that means a lot to me, bursts into tears.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. I still burst into tears, though it's perfectly fine to do that.
Yeah, yeah, so I did that, and then to get into the TTRPG space,
Mm-hmm.
there was a group that's no longer around, but they reached out to me. I did like one random stream where, being a history teacher, the nerd that I am, I was creating D&D character sheets for historical
Uh
figures.
huh. Uh huh.
And it was just like they found me through there and invited me to play a bunch of different games. Like I didn't play D&D or anything on stream for a long time.
Okay.
I played a lot of mage, a lot of vampire, a lot of other different like World of
Yeah.
Darkness systems.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'd been playing those for like 10 years. I think I've actually played more vampire than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, yeah.
So
But
Vampire the
that was
Masquerade was your
mhm.
first for really?
So okay, so we did D&D 3.5 when I was like 14 and didn't know what I was doing, right?
Huh.
Uh and
I thought D&D
then
would be the first thing. Like D&D 5E would have been your first thing.
no, 3.5 was my very, very first one, but it was like we had one friend who had the book, and then they just told us what to roll, and
Mm-hmm.
I was just I made a hot character in Soul Calibur, and I was like, I'm them. That's what I'm doing. So Um, and then after college, I
Mm-hmm.
moved to a town and I started working in film there, worked behind the scenes, worked as an extra, did a bunch of
Mm-hmm.
different things there, and met them through the theater scene. And they said, hey, you should come play a game with us. I'm, of course, thinking board games.
Of
I
course.
was like, sure, I like Settlers of Catan. Let's go. Um, and then they're like, okay, here's the thing, here's your dice, here's your character sheet, you're a vampire. And I was like,
What?
oh. So that was
Okay.
like 2013, and I still play at least monthly with that same group. Not the same game, but
Mm,
we that group, we've rotated through Curse of Strahd, we've rotated
right.
through a lot of Vampire, we've rotated through some Call of Cthulhu, but they're all in California now, and I'm still like I still play with them, and
Oh, that's awesome. But they're in,
they're
oh,
bad.
so you're on the East Coast. I don't, oh, sorry, my big.
Don't apologize. I've got my fluff ball that's been trying to rip the
Yeah.
back off of my chair. So
She, right now she's happy. She's like, "Oh, you're streaming. I'll be right here."
I who are
That
you talking to?
he's like, "Who are you talking to? I gotta be in the picture." Right. So that's her. That's her
Yeah.
spot. That's her thing. So it's very niche though. TTRPGs has been. It's like a niche thing. I know it's growing. If you go on Blue Sky and Threads, and all you see a bunch
Mhm.
of like people constantly talking about TTRPGs and indies and D&D and Vampire the Masquerade and all the other different things. How did you fall into it being almost exclusively your social media outlet?
Whew. Yeah, that's been a it's hmm. That's a good question. I think that for me, I got into it about 4 years ago and stayed with a group that was around for about a year, year and a half.
Mm,
Then they just kind of combusted as different groups,
as
as
usually, yeah,
different groups will do.
yep.
They combusted, and then I kind of felt like I was drifting for a little bit. And this was a big caution of mine. I ended up throwing so much of myself into what they were doing that
Right.
then when I came back to my own channel, I didn't really have anything.
Ah.
So I used to have like, a handful of concurrent viewers. I was a Saturday and Sunday morning streamer because
Hmm.
I was on teacher schedule, so I was already waking up early
Right, right.
and would just keep riding that over into the weekend. Coffee chats, playing things like GeoGuessr,
Mm,
got really into like I would find like a game and then stick with it. So I was very much a variety streamer. And then
hmm.
got back into TTRPGs pretty recently, like within the past year, year and a half.
Okay.
So it was like I did played it for a while, took about a year where I was trying to get back onto my stuff, didn't really stream much, kind of
Hmm.
thought it was over. And then two things happened at the same time.
Okay.
Well, right before that, I had done a short run of a Dragon Age game. A friend
Okay.
recommended me to Martlet Gaming. We did Dragon Age Unbroken, and I love that. And then afterwards, within about 5 days of each other, I got contacted by the Old Ways podcast. They had
Hmm.
liked some of the things I had done. I had been recommended by a friend and interviewed with them and joined the Old Ways.
Okay.
And then, no joke, like 3 or 4 days later, I saw AJ's post from Castleton
Okay.
and, just kinda saw these other cool names there, and I was like, "Listen, oh god, I felt okay, so nerdy." I was so nervous because it had been so long since I had done stuff and because that other
Hmm.
group had combusted, a lot of the stuff that I
Right.
had done wasn't out there anymore. So I made, like, this little miniature reel of, like, funny moments. I made, like, a little reel, and I was like, "Hello, I would like to be considered. I have a very tiny following online, but I've done a handful of things, please." And like I sent AJ a little reel of like tiny
Oh
little
my
moments of
god.
I know, I felt so like I was like
Oh, that's so
I
lovely.
prepared it, and the thing is, I don't even know if she ended up watching it because, like, I just was like, "I'm interested. What can I do? I have a reel prepared if you would like to see it." And then she's like, "Okay, yeah." And, like, she then after a moment, I was like I just sent it to her, and then no joke, 2 minutes later and I know the reel was a little longer than that. Like, 2 minutes later, she
Right.
sent the Discord link for Castleton and all the preparing for that, and I was like, "Thank you. I would love to be involved.
Oh
Appreciate
my
it." And
god.
yeah.
Oh my
Little try
god.
hard.
My god, that made, oh my, that's so sweet. I, oh my
Eh.
god, I love that. Thank you, Jen, for the 15-month
Hi,
sub.
Jen.
Oh my
Welcome,
god.
Jen.
Thank
Yeah, so
you.
that's the Mare lore on how Mare got into Castleton.
Oh my
She
gosh.
edited a little reel, and I even put, like, the little title card, right? Like, "Oh, hello, Mare."
Oh my gosh. Okay, I have to find out. I have to figure out a way to go to see this reel.
Yeah, I'll have to find whatever I put it on. I think I don't know if I put it together on the iPad, like, using iMovie or something.
I need to see this reel. This reel has to happen in my life. So, but that's okay. We'll talk about Castleton a little bit
Uh-huh.
later on. But
Yeah.
um, you are also not only on Twitch, but I've seen you on Blue Sky. I think you're on
Mhm.
Blue Sky. Yes, you're popping up
Mhm.
on Blue Sky. You're a bunch of other social media outlets. And the communities, especially with TikTok leaving and coming back, um, and Meta being Meta, and
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah.
Twitter being a dumpster fire.
Right.
You, the communities there are very different, especially here on Twitch. Like the communities between all these different platforms are different.
Yeah.
How do you interact with them differently? Like how is your interaction with them as a content
Ooh.
creator between each one as you navigate them?
So that's a really good question because that's one I'm still trying to figure out, right? So I'm trying to desperately figure out which one of the text-based ones because and for many people in the TTRPG space,
Mm-hmm.
Twitter was like both billboard and
Yes.
brain dump and
We
links and
yes.
everything worked together on Twitter. And then when that started going south very quickly,
Mm-hmm.
uh, trying to find a place to go. So I'm not very much for being someone who streams and does that. I like the live aspect of streaming.
Mm-hmm.
I like not being able to edit something because it's more like theater, which is my
Yes.
background.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So like it's one and done. I don't have to look at it. I can like look at myself in there. I can see, am I making a weird face? But I can also focus on what I'm doing, and it is this moment is here and then it's gone. And I
Right.
love how transient that is. Whereas if I have to take a selfie and put it on social media, I'm gonna take 5,000 of them, I'm gonna edit them, I'm gonna over edit them, I'm gonna under edit them, I'm gonna erase
Oh
them.
wow.
I'm going like,
Okay.
I will overthink it to death, which is a struggle that I had, doing things like self-tapes
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
when I was acting as well. So it's, I if I get the opportunity to sit there and think, "No, I can do better," I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
try to do that, which is why I don't post a lot of my Instagram things, I think, are me taking pictures of other things.
Mm-hmm.
I think
Mm-hmm.
there are very few I think the last time I took a selfie and posted it on social media, was, like, August of 2024, looking at it there.
Wow.
And
Okay.
that was only because I got to meet cast members from Our Flag Means Death and also got to meet Whitney.
Yeah.
So,
Yep.
um,
Who I
that was
love. We love
yeah,
Whitney.
we love
We
Whitney.
love
But yeah, so
Whitney.
I just was not very much of a um picture taker. So
Okay.
everything else I've been posting is, stuff I'm doing, stuff I'm a part of, stuff I like, my cats. Um, I'm not so much of a food poster,
Yeah. No. No.
but, I did tarot. Like, tarot was, like, a big thing at the start of
Okay. 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 I do tarot. So
streaming. Yeah.
I do.
Cookie Monster
Oh
Steve,
my God,
aw, thank you
Steve!
for the
Thank
gift
you for the gift sub.
sub.
That's amazing. Steve has
Aw,
gifted 33 subs in the channel. That's a lot, dude.
thank you.
So,
Thank you, Steve.
Steve, and a hype train has started. Steve is really,
Look
really
at
good at getting me to
that.
cry on stream. It's actually
Aw.
amazing.
That's so
Um,
awesome. And so I guess if you even looping back around to that for me,
mhm.
Twitch was the place where I connected the most because it felt like
Yes,
a live show, right?
right.
And so getting to talk with chat, um, alike, on social media and different things,
Yeah.
those always feel weird.
Okay.
Because I
Okay.
don't know for me, because when I like something, it's not always like because it's like, ah, yes, I agree with all of the
Yeah.
things that are stated here.
Right.
It's like of just being like, oh my God, I love you. Hee hee. Oh wait, it's you. Haha. Like and then also like when it's things like if someone's posting a sad thing, I always feel weird. Like, do you hit like
Yeah.
what do you
Like,
do? Right?
also,
Do you hit
right.
like
Like, do you
for
hit
it?
like? Do you hit like the heart?
Do you
Like,
say something?
it's
Right.
weird.
So
It's
it's
weird. It's very weird. Like, I know it's a little different on each platform. Some platforms you could like a broken heart or something, but
mhm.
I never know what to post. It's one of those things you're kind of like, um, I don't know. Like, if I put a heart for something that's sad, am I mocking you for your
Right. Or if
sadness?
I just put like a sad face or if I just put it's like those little things and I think that because you and I share that and that I overthink it. Someone
Yes.
just even I had to like flip it around to be like what does it feel like when I get a like or what does it feel like when someone comments on mine? What affects me, but again, what affects me doesn't affect everyone. So
Right.
I I like being able to talk directly like I'm having a conversation
Yes.
with someone. Again, maybe it's from teaching during COVID, but, where it's like if a kid dignifies my Zoom chat with a question about the topic I'm
I'm like,
on,
you're
I'm
there.
gonna latch on to it. "You're here, yeah, exactly."
I totally get
Um
it. I totally get it because it's one of those feelings you're just like, a like is the thing for me with likes is this. I love getting it. That's great.
Mhm.
But I tend to kind of go like, well, one person liked it. Why isn't everyone else liking it? Do they hate me?
Mm,
And it turns into this thing. So now I'm like, I don't. Let's not even look at it. So I much rather Twitch because I can interact and we can chat and we can
yes.
talk, and you
Mhm.
can tell me if I'm being weird. I love it. It's great. Love you
Well,
guys.
then let me ask you this, because are you on both Threads and Blue Sky right now as
I'm on
well?
Threads. I'm on Blue Sky. I'm on Red Note. I'm on Instagram. I'm on all of them, mostly
Yeah.
because I don't want anyone to have my name.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yes.
totally fair. I
Yeah.
haven't done anything with Red Note, mostly just because I barely keep up with what I have.
Right.
And so my okay, so then let me ask you this one, right?
Hmm.
So do you use all of yours just for the TTRPG space, or do you have one where you're like, this is where I put the random thought that I just had, right?
So Threads is becoming my random thought plays. I'm
Uh-huh.
realizing because I'll just post something that means has nothing to do with TTRPG. It's just, well, today sucked, like
Yeah, yeah.
or like so there's an eagle in downtown. Well, I'm sorry.
Rooster.
A
The rooster in
there's a rooster. There's a freaking rooster on my block that has been freaking cockadoodle doodling since from 2 years now. Asshole,
Right.
from 4 o'clock in the
We're
morning.
gonna find him.
Oh, he comes up the block occasionally and just kind of goes, I'm making noise. It's 4 o'clock. Time for you guys to get up. I don't care. But also this past week there has been, I think it's a falcon. It's been terrorizing the
Oh.
pigeons downtown Brooklyn. It's awesome.
Not the pigeons.
The poor pigeons and the other birds are like, we don't know what to do with a predator, and we are terrified. So all you see is like the sky filled with pigeons flipping out. you know,
Oh my
You're like,
gosh.
yeah, that's a predator thing. Okay, and so that's where Threads is where I kind of like post stuff like that. Blue
Nice.
Sky. Weirdly enough, I post mostly TTRPG thought processes. But Twitch and TikTok are TTRPG.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
I have not yet been I did not TikTok much. Mostly
mm,
because, and I think that this is definitely for um because I'm a teacher.
mm-hmm. Yes,
I I being a teacher, I get nervous about like, oh my God, what if they find me? Right. So for
right.
me, I cultivated a place on my Twitch where I don't really curse on my Twitch unless I get
Mm-hmm,
really
mm-hmm.
scared by like a ghost or something in a game. Like if
Right.
something jump scares me, it
It's like, oh
is
shit, yeah, that is
yeah,
different.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
But I don't typically do that. I try to keep it clean because my entire mentality is if the county finds out that I'm doing
Mm,
this, I want to be above reproach on
right,
things.
right.
Um so yeah, so like a lot of times like and I'm really bad about it. I feel really bad too is that sometimes number one I'm just bad at reposting things on social media. Like I did actually promo this. Like I copied what you did, replaced my name with yours, and then slapped it on the internet. And
That's okay. That's a valid thing
it
to
is,
do.
and that's like what I get sometimes is like usually it's like, okay, we're gonna go live, like we're gonna go from the starting soon screen in 1 minute, and I'm like, I didn't post anywhere. Um,
it's, I do it all the
but
time. It's fine.
I yeah, but like on TikTok and stuff, like it felt like trying to have to create original things so that then it redirects somewhere. And I actually
Yes.
was talking to folks recently of where do I redirect to? Right?
Mm,
So I've not been because I do theater for the schools now, and
hmm.
sometimes our rehearsals are now on Saturday mornings.
Right,
Um, I don't stream as frequently as I do, so it doesn't feel right to redirect everything to here.
right.
Um, and so, but now I'm like kind of looking at like what can I do in other places?
Hmm.
Like what am I trying to redirect it to? Because it
Right.
feels like those are not like for me, not where I would ever make a living.
Yeah.
I mean, I've made enough money on Twitch.
Hmm.
My biggest pride and joy was making enough money through subscriptions and donations on Twitch to pay off the computer that I bought
Ah.
right after starting. So like when I made the amount that it cost to buy that computer, I was really proud of myself.
Hmm.
And that felt really cool.
That is a.
Um
That's a best feel. That must be the best feeling. I'm
yeah.
always so proud when people say like the best feeling is like when I made enough off of like my social media from doing something that's genuine. Like I'm like, oh my god, I'm so proud. I'm so proud of you.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Oh
Like I
my
said,
god,
it was
I
it was
love
a
it.
it was a lot of playing it was a lot of silly stuff.
Oh my gosh, that's
Um
awesome. I love that. So,
yeah.
um, you also a TTRPG performer because you are
Mhm.
also in Castleton. Um,
am.
and I love your character. For people who are
Oh,
watching Castleton, who are also in the chat, they also love your character because we have talked about it. Um,
ooh.
so you touched a little bit about how you connected with AJ into becoming part of the cast of Castleton. How's it going so far? And you are also more than just a cast member. So how did that
Oh,
happen?
yeah, okay. I was like, "I am? Oh, I
Yeah.
am."
Oh yeah.
I was
I
like,
do more
"Really?"
than that.
I do. So I around April of last year. Wow, that's weird to say.
Yeah.
Around April of last year, we met and did the character planning, and I just knew the character concept that I had was I wanted to play Charlotte Bingley meets Jon Snow.
Gotcha. Oh, ooh.
Uh-huh. So
That is that.
that is what that is. So
Oh.
yeah, so I wanted to play a character who had the social knowledges, the social graces, had a foot in the door but wasn't quite there yet. And then in
Mm-hmm.
her case had the um I am the illegitimate child of da 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 and no one can know kind
Right.
of stuff because I love reading those kinds of books. Um yeah, so it started off with her, and initially, as the planning came along, I knew that Vera could not be like a nobleman's daughter
Right.
trying to, trying to do that. So initially, regardless, she would be working in someone else's household, right? So she would be
Mm.
working in someone else's household as staff or a retainer of some sort. And then we found someone who would be okay with having an illegitimate daughter who just like, poof, here we go. And then someone else who was like, oh, by the way, these are your half siblings.
Mm.
And it was like, okay, cool. So that was all getting connected.
Right.
And I knew I wanted to play a Bardlock. I
Okay.
will
Okay.
say Vera is not optimized the way I needed her to be for this game.
Oh
I just
gosh.
thought it would be really cool to play someone who was able to do things like disguise self at will, like
Mm-hmm.
different, like having all these the eldritch boons that would come along with it, the eldritch invocations, as well as the her whole character was I'm going to make myself useful to other people to get what I want.
Gotcha.
Right? "Oh, I'm so sorry. You need a little bardic inspiration? Don't worry, I got you.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. We're
fine.
friends. We're friends. We got
Right, we're
this. It's okay.
friends. Just remember me." Right? So, as we're as that was developing on, of course, it's been getting bigger and bigger, and
Mm-hmm.
I had messaged AJ about I'm a warlock. I've got a
Mm-hmm.
warlock. I don't know if there's a demigod or anything, whatever you have in mind. If it's just someone out in the ether, like because I went um, like I was like, I know that she's a bard lock. Whatever you have in mind, just let me know. And she's
Mm-hmm.
like, "Oh, I've got someone in mind," and drops me into a group, into a side chat with Omega.
Mm.
And the thing for me is that I had been watching Omega as a fan.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell them.
That's okay.
Don't
Wednesday we had Omega was on Wednesday and we had a whole I fangirled. It's fine.
uh-huh, yeah.
I completely fangirled on them. It's totally fine.
Yeah.
They were like okay.
Yeah, because it was just one of those things where really I think one of the more recent things I had seen Omega in had been something for Colic, which
Mm-hmm.
is
Mm-hmm.
a project has it was like through Ethan Nestor. I really found out about it for a charity they did, and Markiplier was in it. And it
Okay.
also had this demigods purviews sort of thing going on too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I love that stuff. I love anything mythology. I love that. I'm a history teacher, is what I
Right.
do.
Of course.
So I got super into that and um yeah, just started like noticing when folks would show up in different areas. And so getting dropped into that chat, I was like, okay, yeah, this is cool. On the day of getting dropped into that chat, like in
Mm-hmm.
the moments after that, we were getting in a car
Mm-hmm.
to go and watch a Shakespeare play in the middle of a field in a barn. So I'm
Okay.
starting to plan out this character, and I'm just like, I was telling my husband, I was like, I really don't want to go to this play. I was like, I love Shakespeare, I love this. I really don't want to go. I want to do this. I want to plot and I want to scheme and I want to do this. And he's like, we have to go. The friend that's in it is deploying soon. And I was like,
Oh,
I understand.
I get it, but I don't want to.
Right? And he's like, I know this. I was like, I accept that I'm a terrible person. That being said, so we get out there. So in the, like, Omega and I are sitting there chatting about like, what is this pact? What
Right.
is it around? All of that. And then I'm like, I'm so sorry. I have to go now. I'm about to see Shakespeare in the middle of a field. And then I take a picture and put it in the chat, and it's like cows in the middle of this giant pasture. So she was a Skrios warlock.
Oh,
And
that's awesome. That
and
is
but that was
awesome.
just really cool to get
Jealous.
in there.
I'm jealous about that warlock thing. It's okay though.
You can be
I can't.
there's Skrios is looking for stuff.
Yeah, I
Skrios is
know,
looking for buddies right now.
but
So
I mean, the way the story's going, I don't think it's gonna work. It's
mm,
not gonna work at
I'm
all.
rooting. I mean, literally so much of this comes down to the dice rolls. So many of
It
the
really
things in
does. It
Castleton
does.
has come completely
Down
down
to the dice
to the
rolls.
dice.
Yeah.
I can tell you, and I won't say any details,
Hmm.
but there are some significant dice rolls that are coming up for Vera
I have
in an episode
watched.
near you.
I have watched previous dice rolls, even with Omega, where I was
Ah,
like, if that had went a different way,
the whole story would have changed.
if it,
Oh my
the whole
gosh.
like, there's so many times it's like, no, 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 no.
I know. It's like, and now we'll never
No,
know. And
we'll
it's,
never.
oh my
Oh, it's so
gosh.
bad, and so many times it's like, oh well, okay, well, like even with me with my character Asmi
Uh
and
huh.
Rin's character Henri, the way that role went, I was just like, oh, if it had went the other way, it would have been a
Oh,
different
there would
story.
have been some insight. Oh my
Oh, it
gosh.
would have been on
Oh,
site. It would have been like on site, like with a problem.
that's wild.
It would have been a
Like that's what
problem.
I loved about this game though, is that
Yeah.
and this kind of goes into the second part of your question. I became a fan, just
Mm,
not just being a part of it, but watching
watching
it.
it. Yeah.
I was a like capital F fan.
Yeah.
And to the point of I'd be so into it, so real, and then get jump scared by my own face showing up on screen. Like, oh right, I did
That's
something.
oh shit. That's me.
Oh, that's me. Right. And so because I was a fan of it, and I just talk all the time in the
Mm,
Discord.
I love it.
and
I love it. I love
and because
rewatching.
yeah. Oh my gosh, when anyone has to watch after the fact, it always cracks me up when you are in there and you watch it like 2 days later, and I can just tell what point you're at because the messages coming in. And it just, I think I've said it in there multiple times where I'm just like, I love you watching after the fact, Sam. This brings me so much joy. It's so good.
I
It's
think the
so
last
good.
time I put something in Discord, I put like a mini curse on everyone who I literally so I
Oh
had
no.
just gotten up to the point where like Boy and Wes were coming on. I was like, yay,
Oh,
Boy and Wes.
I know. I saw that and I was like, oh
And everyone was
no.
laughing. I'm like, why are they giving me laugh emotes? I don't understand. Like, why are they laughing? I'm watching it. I'm like, oh, I hope all your airing backs are missing for 3 days. Like, literally, I was like, I hope your cereal's soggy. I hope when you order
I
co-
s-
I hope when you order coffee you get decaf, and I hope all your airing backs are missing for 3 days. I was so upset.
it was so bad. That was like what an intense moment.
Yes.
I loved it. I love how that story's been going. And because I did one of my morning streams when I was kicking back into it, I
Mm.
had just downloaded Obsidian, and I was
Mm.
like, there's so much that just happened. It was like the first time that we started to find out who certain demigods' parents were.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so I started making that chart. And then um I think it may have been the first time when Skrios went on a date with Otto, but then we also found out that they were the
Yes.
Sins. And so we ended up doing that was my first red string board that we
Mhm.
did.
Mhm. Mhm.
Hi, Mika. That was the first red string board that I did where it was okay. So if this is the child, if they were saying they were the child of love and longing, then who are they actually the
Yes.
child of? And I just really loved getting deep into that.
Oh,
And because I love tropey fantasy
I
stories.
love trophy fantasy stories, and I love stories that don't have one main thing. Like, even though there's a, yes,
Mhm.
we know there's a main thing, we know it's a demigod thing, we got it. I understand that. But there's so many main stories happening all over the place. You're like, okay, wait,
Yeah.
wait, 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 wait,
You have
wait.
120 main
Yeah,
characters
yeah, yeah.
quite literally,
Right,
and
100%.
it's so good.
Yeah.
And I've loved as well just seeing Mika in the chat here. I've loved watching some of these characters come into their own,
Oh,
and it
God,
makes me
yes.
want to go back and rewatch different
I
parts that
have.
I may have missed.
Yes, yes, yes. And
And
the other problem, like, I noticed this for myself, and it's only for me. Please don't
mhm,
chat. Don't.
mhm.
Um, I'm a little annoyed at myself because I knew about Castleton from watching Castleton, but in my head, this was something that AJ reached out to all these different people. I'm like, AJ knows 120 people. Of course, she knows 120 people.
Oh,
And so when I found, I was like, yeah, why didn't you? Someone was like, why didn't you apply? I'm like, what are you talking about? So I didn't
mhm.
know. I had no idea she put out this
That it was
call.
like an application kind of thing. Yeah,
No
it
clue.
was like a whole call out.
No
Um,
clue.
yeah, I like I said, I had seen it come across. I had seen the first one.
Mm-hmm.
I'd seen the first one come through, and I was like, "Whoa, that sounds wild. That sounds crazy." And then it was like the second one, and all the names
Mm-hmm.
that came up on that board, and I could see a handful of them, and I was like,
Ooh,
"Wait, I know that person."
yeah.
And so I was like, "Well, if it was me, it was I did Winona Ryder math like meme where I sat there, I was like, okay, if I know them, then maybe with me,
So
I
like
might be
60,
okay."
6 degrees of separation type of
I
thing.
was like, well, if I did them and then they did this with this friend that I really did a game with, and it would be like kind of going back and forth within it. That was a lot of me sitting there going, so maybe there's a chance.
Oh,
And then, of course,
wow.
Jay has been wonderful.
Everyone has been so wonderful and so welcoming and so sweet.
It is. And we
And
all have the rot, and
yeah,
everyone
it's so
has.
good. It's so funny. And I
It
love it.
is.
I absolutely adore it. Like,
And I love that everyone loves each other's characters too. I mean,
yes.
I come from it as like a fan within this so much that we'll get to it eventually getting around to the question, right?
Yep.
That eventually we were Ren Vixen and I were approached about doing a talk show on
Yep.
Tuesdays.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I was so deep in it for a hot second.
Hello, Rara. Story time. Welcome to the chat. So yeah, honestly, I was watching
Rara.
from the beginning. I was watching
Oh,
like,
really?
yeah. I was just like, I love this show because I love Bridgerton. I love Game
Oh,
of
yeah.
Thrones. I am. I like. I. You can't really see. Well, you can't kind of. All those books back behind me. There's a lot of like, Victorian history and
Ah.
um, New
We have
York.
to talk books soon,
Oh
so
my gosh. Like, just all of this, like, I know about all the different I know about all the different way lords and ladies and all this English history
Mhm.
and stuff like that, but I also have like Edwardian history and all these different things. I have like spy stuff because I'm a weirdo. um, you know
That might come in handy.
I mean, look,
You never know.
I know about espionage, so like to the point of nausea. It's weird. I shouldn't know about espionage, but I do, and I don't know why. And so watching Castles, I was like, they need to know that. How do they not know? They listen.
Yeah.
There's so many times I'm like yelling at the screen. It's bad. Happy Friday, everyone. Thank you.
Aw,
Well,
hi, Rara.
Jen, be quiet. Jen needs to be quiet. I'm not listening. No
No,
one listen
it's
to
no.
Jen.
Let me put it this way. I'll sidetrack us and then get us back on our off the rails because we were off the rails
Well,
and we'll get
also,
back
yeah,
on
that's
and we'll do this.
perfectly fine.
Um, there's this there's this great thing from the performing arts world, which
Mm-hmm.
is where my whole thing is, where when you no one should ever actually feel like they've made it, because the way you know you've made it is when you're enjoying what you're doing,
Yes.
right? So when you are thoroughly enjoying what it is you're doing and it's helping others. And
Mm-hmm.
so for our world, we're a species of storytellers.
Yes.
So even just talking on a just chatting stream is storytelling.
Yes. Always.
So it is like the fact that we're doing something, we feel good about it, we feel happy with it. That's where made it is.
Right.
I it's cool when something you've done, which I guess where it goes into like the I've made it situation,
Mm-hmm.
something you've done puts you in better like proximity to other people who do
Yes.
stuff that you like, which I
Yes.
think is one of the things Castleton's done. It's one of the things where even
It
outside of
has.
Castleton, folks that Rara is someone that I did not meet through Castleton. It was through other folks that I also were not related within it.
I
We were
guess.
just we were just like in this realm, and like energy finds like energy.
Yes.
And I
Yes.
think that, and you and I have even talked about how sometimes you start to work within something and then it's like maybe that energy is not the one.
Yeah. It's not. This is not the spot for me. I'm gonna go over
It
here.
doesn't.
Yeah.
And
You
it's
know.
like a but you find the ones that you do, and
Mm.
it's and so yeah, so for me, like even if honestly I find that same sort of thing, like if you feel like you haven't made it, that's one thing, but trust the folks who maybe don't say, "You've made it. Yeah, go to the top." But if they say that they like what you do,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
trust them. Like truly trust them. It's really hard
It's
to
really
do,
hard. It's super hard.
especially if we've been bullied or marginalized or anything in our
Yeah.
past.
Yeah.
We take it as any sort of nice thing. What's underneath it? There's another layer here. What is that?
Right.
In
Also,
this type of a space, the fact that you have folks who come to your chat, who know this, who tease you, oh my gosh, I've as not just as a teacher, but as just a human being and a streamer, the moment that someone can tease you and make fun of you
hmm
within it, that is like that's a building of a relationship. They talk
yes,
about building
yes.
relationships ad nauseum in the education world. But it's true because you've built a relationship. Like my community knows what we do and do not tolerate, because I've kind of talked us off the ledge on
Yep.
a couple
hmm
of different
hmm
things. Like
hmm
they'll go, this is like, hey, this is not how we're going to talk in this space. If you don't like that, you may leave. But otherwise, if you want to talk about something else, you're welcome to stay.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
and I have done that to the point of where trolls who have come into a chat where I'm like, hi, I hear how you're saying that. I understand. We don't talk like that here. Please leave or
Or
stick around and learn how
yeah,
we operate
if
here.
you can adjust your adjust how you are, that
Yeah,
would be
adjust
great.
your tone.
Adjust your
But
tone.
we've done like it's been a place where now like my community will enforce itself, where
mm,
if I miss someone being a jackwagon in chat, um the community, because they're like-minded,
yeah.
because they're like, we like this space that's been built.
And it makes us feel happy. We don't want anyone to make
Yeah.
us unhappy
You
here.
don't harsh the vibe. That's my
Exactly.
that's
Yes. Yes.
two rules in my classroom. Don't do anything to make me do paperwork, and don't harsh my vibe.
Okay,
Those are the
so
two. I
that
have
is
those on a
very
sign in my
similar to being
classroom.
a lieutenant in the New York City Fire Department because when I was at station when I was at a station, I'm like, listen, please don't make me do my job. Please don't
Ah,
make me be a lieutenant. I don't want to be lieutenant today. I want to sit behind my desk. I want to do my rundown. I want to freaking eat my lunch, watch my
mhm,
TV, get my trucks out, and be a happy paramedic. Please
mhm.
don't make me do paperwork. Don't make me don't make me be a lieutenant. That's
Yeah.
it.
Mine is like, don't make me do paperwork involves me. Do I have to do a write-up for you? Do I have to fill out
Yes.
a medical form for you? Do I have to, like, don't make me do something where you like, because I'll do my talking job all day, every day.
All day.
But if you make me have to do something there, because number one, now I don't have to write out every single rule on the board.
Yes. Yes.
I don't have to write out every rule on the board, because rule number 1, don't make me do paperwork, ends up covering all of that.
yes. Yes.
Hi,
It's Ham.
Ham.
How are you?
But I yeah, yeah, no, I just so that's just me kind of co-signing what your chat is saying.
Mm-hmm.
They're saying that you've made it because you've made it for them. Like you've literally made it this place. And you've made it for me as giving you feed me delicious stories. And I am hungry all the time for good stories. So I love that. And I want to tell more stories with you. I want to do that kind of stuff. And that's what it means. That's what it means when you've made it, is when you find more like-minded folks, you find more
Right.
people you want to do stuff with. So that's the jam. That's what it is.
I love that. Oh my gosh. First of all, like this has been a week of people like really trying to make me feel really good about myself. I'm like, I don't want to. Stop
I yeah.
it.
Well, my husband does the best thing to me when I get, and it's so funny, it's so silly, and it makes no sense until you think about it. Um when I sit there and he will let me have my full hissy fit of I'm terrible, I don't know why I'm doing this, da, 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 like all of those terrible things
Yes,
that we let the
yes.
back of our mind say.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, "I hear you. Your opinion of yourself doesn't matter right now."
Alrighty. Okay. Thank you. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Your opinion of yourself doesn't matter here. He's like, let me tell you what I think of you. And that's when we get into the no, oh, that's contrary to what I think.
That's stop messing
But
with
he's
this.
like, that's fine. You're having that opinion of yourself, and that's not the one that matters right now. What matters is the opinion of someone who is wanting to care for you, who's wanting to be there, who's wanting to
My
like
gosh.
believe in you. And it's like, and also how rude is that of you to tell someone to not do something they're enjoying?
Like mind your business.
Yeah, like don't tell them like, "Hey, no, no, I've not made it. No, I'm not that funny. No, I'm not that." And it's like, "Oh, so you're telling me I'm wrong for laughing?"
Okay, and you're also hyping Steve up now because this is an ongoing thing in my stream where they're like, "Shut up, Sam. We don't care what you
Yeah.
say." Okay, I love
Yeah,
you guys
shut
too.
up. You're great.
I love you
Yeah,
guys too.
your
Shut up.
opinion of yourself doesn't matter. I like you and my opinion matters, right? So, and that is the thing in this
And I'm
space.
stealing that line. I'm going to follow Cyril.
Miles,
Stealing the
sold.
line.
Take it. Take it. You have the patent. There you go.
I love that. I love it. So with all you do Castleton, you're a
Mhm.
teacher, you do theater, all these different. How do you keep all that stuff going and balanced and adulting and still
Oh.
have fun?
Well, first of all, here's Padre. He won't stop
Hi,
scratching on the chair,
Padre.
so he's gonna live
Mine's
here
asleep.
for a second.
Mine's
He's in the
asleep.
lap. Um, how do I? Not well a lot of the time.
Like
Not to
not
the
not.
level of what I typically would call success for myself.
Mhm.
Clearly it's a lot and clearly I do it, but I I'm the ADHD. My flavor of ADHD is I buy like 4 planners a year and never actually use them properly.
Yeah.
I live and die by my Google Calendar. That is the one that stays with me. So I live
Okay.
and die by it, and I put something in there
Mm.
the moment I hear about it. So, like
Oh.
on a when to meet, if it's down to like 3 dates, I will go ahead and block out those 3 dates
Mhm.
until we decide on the one.
Okay.
Because I have been very bad in the past about double booking things.
I am so bad with that.
Yeah, I live and die by my Google Calendar. And then I also I try sometimes to give myself balance within things. I
Mhm.
have to set aside specific time to work on work things, and then I set aside time to work on any of this like the media things, anything that I do out
Mhm.
in this space. But I also have to I've been doing my best to get out of the mindset with it by
Mm.
literally giving myself days of like, I am not putting anything on this block of time. I'm not putting anything in
Oh
this empty
wow.
space. It is really hard because it means I have to say no to things.
Yeah, so now I already know
But
look, as ADHD and neurodivergent people, that is the hardest thing to do in the world. You're like,
it
I'll do it.
is.
It's fine. I'll do it.
It is, and I've had to give myself these spaces of time to say no, to
Hmm.
leave open for other things to be there. So, I have a
Gotcha.
small group, a handful of Castleton and other social media folks that I have, then I made like a little tiny like group for us, and
Mm.
in there we don't talk TTRPGs. We don't talk all the other things. We play games and just hang out and voice chat
Mm,
sometimes. Like so that way we're just not alone. Sometimes
yeah.
there are folks who work from home, so they need a place to have co-working.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
For me, I always sit there and put the little like Conan O'Brien "let me in" through the window when I'm stuck at work and I see
Yeah.
everybody else in there.
Oh.
But I but I'm just happy again. It's like that's allowed a space for people to be, and that's what I like.
I
That's what
love
I
that.
like.
I
I love
love it.
having a place.
Oh my gosh. So that's your balance. So,
Mm.
um, has it ever been, or will it ever be a plan to make this TTRPG social media world a full time endeavor
Oh,
as your,
I
yeah, I know, as your main
oh.
focus, as your main income?
I read an interesting article recently. I think it was by M. Friedman, who is someone who I believe is out of what school? One of the universities down in it's either in Alabama or Georgia,
Mm-hmm.
and they do research. They teach at that school. They do research on gaming spaces and
Okay.
particularly TTRPGs. Like they would do like their classes are on things like actual plays.
Ooh.
So not necessarily more in a sociological sense as
Mm-hmm.
opposed to a industry sense. And that
Mm-hmm.
was something that they wrote recently is that where the TTRPG space is right now, it's not fully an industry because
Right.
the ones that are big are actually working within an existing industry. So
Yes.
your Critical Roles, your Dimension 20s, they're
Mm-hmm.
already a part of a studio
Pro-
background within
right.
it.
They're in production already.
Yeah, they're in an industry of their own. And then of course, then you have the publishing end of TTRPG where
Mm-hmm.
it's an
Mm-hmm.
industry. It is truly like manufacturing. It's everything within there. Actual play and performance that is non like I would call it non-professional, not in
Mm-hmm.
the sense of they're not professionals doing it, but the people who overlap in that world are not all of the same industry, I guess. Like, I
Right.
mean, Brennan Lee Mulligan is a member of SAG,
Right.
member of SAG-AFTRA.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no union or anything for what we do here. You also have folks like me who I do this as a hobby
Mm-hmm.
alongside folks who are doing this as their full time.
Right.
So you have people with different levels of skin in the game.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Long story short on that is I want to what if I were to do something, I don't think that I would make me performing in actual plays as the thing. I
Okay.
love
Okay.
doing it. I don't I also have a start playing games account, and so
Mm-hmm.
I'm
Mm-hmm.
starting to put together things where I want to run DM'd game I want to DM games for teenagers and their moms, not together, but
But
those two groups of people.
people. Okay.
I want it essentially for kids between the ages of really like down to like 11 to 19
Mm-hmm.
and then women over the age of 30, mothers
Okay.
over the age of 30. I'm
Right.
not a mother myself, but my friends are,
Mm-hmm.
and the ones who have started playing it, this is a release that they didn't know they needed.
Yeah.
So, and they always like see like their kids like it. Oh, well, I just don't want to learn to play because I don't want to, I want to learn to play, but I don't want to be the only one at the table who doesn't know anything. Or I don't
Mm.
really think that, I don't want to slow it down. All of those same sorts of things. So I've tried my best to create areas where folks who have that same, ooh, I don't want to be the one, I don't want to be the
Right.
newbie,
Okay.
giving them a place to be like, hey, I teach your kids. I promise you, you can't ask me a question dumber than they've asked me.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
And that relieves a lot of things.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it's not to exclude other groups, but it's like specifically that is a group that gets neglected. They often feel like they're relegated to only meeting and creating a community through their kids
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as opposed to through other um through other ways of forming a community. I was very fortunate in that the community theater that I had, community in the name,
Mm-hmm.
is where most of my friend group came from. So I want gaming to be a way to do that as well as a way to explore things, what we always
Right.
use TTRPGs for. Are we going to completely avoid all of the topics that are happening in our world right now? Or
Or.
are we, through catharsis, going to attack something head on
Hmm.
and do that? And you have the opportunity to play and do it. I don't wanna call it therapeutic, it's definitely cathartic.
Yeah.
I'm
Okay.
not
I'm
a
about to.
I'm not a I'm not a professional in the therapeutic world, but there
Hmm.
are resources that do that.
Right. Right.
I wanna do that. So, like, if I were to ever break into, like, trying to do that, I would want to provide that either as a service or create resources to allow other folks to do that.
Gotcha.
But that involves sitting down and writing, and I have a full-time job, so it's like, you see that
Yeah,
catch-22
it's
sort of
not.
thing there?
Yes, yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
The full time job thing is usually where the problem runs in. You run into the
It
problem.
is, it
It's
is,
yeah.
it
So,
is.
so
Yeah.
we Castleton and a
Mhm.
lot of the other stuff I've seen you in. It's a diverse group. That's not normally the case, especially if you look at
Right.
YouTube and Twitch. Um, it's becoming more so. But what do you think the future of intersectionality um, looks like in the TTRPG community going forward?
I think that the TTRPG community, is doing a good job of, like I said when I was talking about my kids in the classroom,
Mm-hmm.
they are, holding themselves accountable.
Mm-hmm.
They are, oh, what is it that they do? So when I say that okay, it's again a story time that gets to a point
That's
eventually, I
okay.
promise.
I love it.
Um
I love this. This guys. These are clippable moments, and I love clippable moments. So,
The typically in my classroom, controversial as it may be, I tend to because my class periods are only 45 minutes long.
okay.
I I usually am like, "Okay, you have time to go to the restroom." I very rarely count tardies unless
Mm,
they start like, "You are exactly this minute late exactly every single time.
yeah.
You're skipping the first activity on purpose." I can
Hmm.
pick up on that pretty quickly.
Right.
You're smoking in the bathroom? Gotcha, I understand. Everyone has done that. You
Exactly.
gotta be less obvious on this, right?
Yeah.
Again, you're
Yeah.
getting real close to rule number 1, which is don't make me do paperwork. Um, so my rule in my classroom typically for like restroom, like, going to the office for various things, that's a given.
Mm,
But my, restroom or like, can I go like do this? Unless it's written in your plan of I need to have a walk, I need to do these things based on your learning plan, is like I have one pass out of my room per 45-minute class period. And if
okay.
you're an athlete, you're not gonna ask your coach to step off the field to go pee.
Right.
I'm just saying, so you can hang here for a bit. You had a 5 to 10-minute break before my class, you're good,
Yeah.
right? So, 1 pass out per day, and I'm not gonna monitor who takes it,
Yes.
but
But
your classmates are gonna notice if you're the one
exactly.
who's taking it.
Especially if we're taking every
If you're
damn
taking it
time.
every day about 25 minutes into the class period, you raise your hand, I know what you're about to ask, everyone
Mm-hmm.
knows.
Mm-hmm.
But the girl over there has developed an emergency or has developed like, "Oh, wait, I gotta go check on something," various things like that,
Yeah.
they're gonna notice, and before even it becomes an issue, they start monitoring themselves.
Mm.
So I think that one of the things that the TTRPG community has been doing is monitoring it's calling the
Yes.
kid who's going to the bathroom every 25 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
It's calling out all white tables. It's
Yes.
calling out all white presenting tables. I'm Puerto Rican, I'm half Puerto Rican. I got the Scotch Irish skin, baby, like the other half, one in the womb on that one, and I accept that.
Mm-hmm.
So, the level of intersectionality, yes, I'm female, yes, like, I'm in that, I tick a couple of boxes, but at the same time, if there's the opportunity for
Mm-hmm.
someone else to tell a story from a different point of view, you gotta be able to get your butt out of the seat and move.
Right.
And I've been very fortunate in that, you know, in many cases, that's why I've been invited to a table is for being Latina.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But and it's a soul searching thing I've had to do as a white presenting Latina is that I know what this looks like.
like,
We know what it looks like when
like,
I sit down
we're
at the
not
table.
blind. I'm sorry.
saying. It's like I we know, it's just like
Oh
it is
man.
it's a real thing. It's something that we think about. So yeah, it makes people like myself more aware. Like, yes,
Right.
maybe I'm Latina, but I am also white presenting. Is that what's needed at this table? Is this the story? I was raised in America, not America, but in Eastern North Carolina,
Right.
not in Puerto Rico on the island. I got to visit. I got the good
Hmm.
fortune of visiting when I was younger, but I've struggled with connecting with that culture.
Right.
So sometimes I even question, and I'll question DMs like, am I the right person for this table if this is
Hmm.
what you're trying to tell? So, yeah, I think that like that's not anything I would have ever thought of. In the
Right.
first handful of things when it was like Latino History Months, I wasn't putting my name in early
Mm.
on.
Okay.
Like I didn't do that early on. Um because this is still like a journey I'm on for myself. Same thing with
Hmm.
being ADHD. Same like I was late diagnosed ADHD. Same thing
Yeah.
with being
Same.
bisexual in a het presenting relationship,
Hmm. Hmm.
marriage.
Right.
So it's like, you know, am I the right voice that would need to be at the table for this thing? So
Hmm.
it's a thing that you think about, and I never would have had some of those things cross my mind had it not been for how informative many voices were in this
Yeah.
community, which I hope gets carried on into other aspects of my life, into other
Yeah.
aspects of others' lives. It is important. DEI is not a bad word.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing. I. I
You can take that and do that with it later. Clips, you can do what you want to me later with that
clip
one.
away, and I'll tell you, I have an issue
Uh-oh,
because
am
when
I
people say
frozen?
DEI, they think black. Um,
Yeah.
oh,
No.
hold on, hang on,
Am I
pause.
frozen? I think
Yes,
I'm
you
frozen.
are. Pause,
All
pause,
right,
pause.
let me refresh my stuff over here. Oh my God,
Refresh.
what a
Pause.
terrible, terrible, terrible frame. Holy crap. Let me refresh.
So in the meantime, guys, fellow employee where I can't. Yeah, I know. The fuck. It's not gonna. It's gonna. I, I don't know what to say. I honestly don't know what to say at this
Oh,
point anymore. Uh
oh
oh.
no, no,
Oh no!
no, oh no. I know what this is. It's OBS.
Shut up.
It's OBS. It's OBS is doing it. 1 second. I'm gonna save the day. I'm gonna have a terrible camera.
Oh no!
It's gonna be okay.
We're gonna get back. That's okay. We can hear you,
Gotta
so it's
get
always
back to this.
good.
What a terrible, terrible freeze
It,
frame.
it, it picked the
This is
worst freeze
this is
frame it
the
could possibly.
worst day ever.
It picked the worst freeze frame. It's
Oh my
okay.
God. Could it have been? Oh my
I
God.
don't normally edit these too much, but I will edit this out so that
Oh,
it's not that big of a deal.
thank heavens. That is a monster. Oh my gosh. Hold on.
I love
Yeah.
that this is where it's like let's get you blurry with your mouth slightly open
Blurry
and your
mouth
head back.
open. So weird. Being strange. Doing that. Okay, hold on. All right, this is a little thing we call progress.
Yes, we're
This
gonna
is a
we're
little
gonna
thing
get
we
there.
call
We're gonna get
progress.
there. It's gonna be okay.
I'm glad that it's not the whole computer. It's just the camera. She's been on her way out for a while.
It's okay.
Uh
I preempted my camera and I was like, you're gonna die. So your sister's coming in here now. So
Okay, there we go. Okay, all right,
okay.
here we go. We're in.
Yay! Hi!
Yay, I'm
Welcome
back. I think I
back.
bumped my camera and I'm flipped the wrong way. Hold
That's
on up.
okay. Even your cat's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, even my cat's judging me. No, wait, I was flipped the right
No,
way.
you're good. You're good the other way.
Yep.
There it
There we
is.
go. All right.
All right.
Oh, that was very
That's
silly. What a
awesome.
very silly
I
time.
love it. I love that. So
I'm glad you liked it, Jen. But yeah, no, I get it. Jen and I are I think all three of us here are in the same country. And so we're dealing with, I don't want
yeah,
to bring that necessarily up as a thing on here if with a line and veil within it. But
it's yeah.
it is something I think about, as a teacher. Like I said, certain things if they get clipped from this and at my private school that I'm at, if they decide they want to use that towards me, honestly fine. I'd rather
Right.
stay on the correct side of history. I'm
Agreed.
so
Yeah.
sorry for
I
that.
when all this first started, I was just like, you know what? I work for a municipality, and
Yeah,
I'm okay because what I do is so far removed from
Yeah.
um from where I work, but occasionally something happens where I'm gonna say something, and if you're gonna fire me for that, then
Yeah.
that's fine. You're probably
I
gonna
felt
lose.
the most recent thing I had to deal with that was, and it is fear, right? So fear
Yes,
is the big thing that's attacking us right now.
yes,
Um and the thing is, that is their most powerful weapon. That is the
yes.
enemy's most powerful weapon, is fear. It's not blood, it's not violence,
It's
it's
it.
fear. And the uh I just played in a game over on Help Action Needed's channel called Guy Fieri's Bisexuals.
Yes,
And
I saw
that
it.
thing happened the day after a few choice executive orders popped up. And
Yes.
I'm not gonna lie, I was scared. I
Yeah.
I was I was legitimately, truly scared of, like, oh my gosh, what could this do? Right? What
Right.
could this go on into it? Not as someone who's going, like, survival is important for me,
Right.
but also being on the correct side of history is important for me too.
Right.
But as a I sat there, I was scared. I allowed myself to be scared. I did it anyway, which is the
Mm.
huge part. Um, but I like fighting through fighting through that. I was sitting there thinking of not necessarily excuses, but
Mm.
just that I would let the white Karen within me come out, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I would sit there and be like, "Oh, I'm a theater teacher. What are you
Mm.
gonna do?
Right.
Tell me not to act as a character," right? Like, I was
Right.
coming up
Right.
with, like,
Yeah.
all sorts of ways, like, how can I combat this? And it's like, "Oh, playing a character, playing anything on a stage, you're not gonna fuss about that, but you're gonna fuss about me choosing to play a different type of character to tell a different kind of story,
Sorry.
and that's gonna be what you're gonna fuss about, right?"
Mm.
So I was trying to come in with that, and I know big time that that is 1000% coming from a place of privilege that many people do not have.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
But I've been looking, watching, listening, and I am prepared to be the Karen in the room to disrupt it for others.
I love that.
I am ready to use my
It's
full-fledged crying on cue superpowers to ruin the lives of people who are trying to do their jobs for the federal government. Not, not you, Jen. I'm not trying to ruin your life, I promise you. But yeah, no, but the idea of, like, that is a big
right.
fear right now because of how things are progressing. But again, we can't let fear win. I know that sounds so corny,
I know it's a cliche, but it's one of the cliches that unfortunately we
but
need
it's
at this
it's a
point in time.
fear. It's the biggest way I think about it, in the same sense of it's not the exact same thing. It's the same chemicals in your body,
Yes. Yes.
but the fear that you feel before going on stage, the fear that you feel before you apply for a job,
Yes.
the fear that you feel when you don't know what's going to happen next, which is 99% of all of our fears. Like,
You're
that's
right.
our fear of death, is not knowing what's happening
Mm-hmm,
next.
mm-hmm.
Um but yeah, when they start threatening these different things, I heard today, like, kind of in that same sense of, take that fear and throw it at a wall. I don't care
Yes.
whose wall you throw
Yes.
it at, but turn that fear into something to throw at a wall. For
I
example,
was.
I heard allegedly that one way that people are trying to like blow up ISIS spot is by trying, like, the hotline that they have to report
Yeah.
illegal immigrants within that,
I
to
did
report
that.
immigrants, is that they have all been calling and reporting Elon Musk. Yeah.
I
Yes.
don't
The floor
care.
recognizes Sam.
That
The
was
floor
funny.
recognizes Sam.
I did that. I did
You
that.
did that? Yes.
Uh,
That's the thing. My representative's voicemail has been full for 4 days now.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and that's what we have to do. You have to make it uncomfortable. If you
Make it
if they
uncomfortable.
if they
Also,
have if
not
they
just
have
Elon Musk,
monetary
but
holdings and other
yeah,
things, destroy their monetary holdings.
that's
Like,
it.
you have
And also not just Elon
it's
Musk, but Melania Trump and
mhm.
anyone else. Like if JD Vance's wife, I don't
Mhm.
care. Like
It's one of those
because
things where it's like, there's another, again, part of the other bits of disruption are about Um, again, in subtle ways.
Yes.
There was a book that I started reading the summary of. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that they're focusing on different folks
They're
that,
just focusing on other.
yeah,
They're focusing on the word
others.
other.
Yeah,
So
exactly. The word other is what they're focusing
that's
on.
it. That's it.
And again, the when I was in my history and when I was in my political science classes, I took a class on terrorism, not
Mhm.
on how to be a terrorist.
I love how you have to
But wait,
quantify that.
hold
Like,
up,
wait, pause,
hold on, real quick.
pause. Like,
Pause on Bezos. Okay, Bezos, don't stop listening. But I took one. It was the study of terrorism and various terrorist organizations and how they're classified by the federal government. And in the state I'm in North Carolina, they have the highest number of a group of people called
mhm,
sovereign citizens. And the big thing that sovereign
yes.
citizens do is that they commit what's called paper terrorism, where they completely block up the systems that are in place
Mhm,
with phony paperwork, with stuff that's going to backlog things to
mhm,
prevent people from
mhm.
doing their job efficiently if what the job that they're doing is something they don't like. Now, in that end, they're doing it as a way of saying, I don't recognize any government,
Right, right.
which, you know,
But it's working. If it works,
it's
it works.
working. That's like blocking up the phone lines for stuff like that. Being a lady that's crying and like trying to like distract from someone else so that someone else can get away from something. Like
Right.
it is, there are tactics that are there. There are proven tactics from throughout history, but it is terrifying, especially if you're in a position where you have to live with it. Like I said, I'm about to be in a classroom where I'm about to be administered how I'm supposed to teach my history classes.
Yeah, yeah. And it's gonna suck.
The
Uh,
double speak
yeah.
that is gonna have, yeah,
Just
it is a whole thing.
you have to turn.
And
Teach
I
kids
and
different ways to
mhm,
you know not to say something and not say something, but that's okay.
mhm,
They're kids are malleable. Um. So
yeah.
the
We'll do
TTRPG.
get off this rail.
So
Go on now. Get.
the TTRPG space, oddly enough, like you said, um, kind of polices itself, but with its popularity, it inevitably is going to change. Whether for the better or for the worse, we don't know yet. But with it's slowly becoming a bigger thing, especially here on Twitch, on YouTube,
Mm.
um, to some extent on TikTok. How do you think that it's going to change how it's TTRPG is going to be played?
Hmm. Well, Rara was in here earlier, and I got to see Rara give an incredible panel at PAX U
Mm-hmm.
about telling sad stories. But the biggest thing about sad stories is that they give you hope,
Yes.
right? They're not sad just for the sake of being sad. They're
Mm-hmm.
sad because there's a desire for hope within them. And so I think that that's one way that it's going to change, that I think we're going to get more personal stories. I think, and this is a wish of mine as opposed to like what exactly I think will happen.
Uh-huh.
I want stories that well kind of god. Okay, so it circles back around to a thing that you had said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Is that if I were to ever do something inside of this place, I would want it to be something called Insight, right? Insight Society, Insight Studios. It's kind of a thing that I keep thinking of. I keep mulling it over
Mm-hmm.
because I love the mechanic of insight in D&D.
Mm-hmm.
I love the mechanic of insight in D&D because that is the one where you're trying to find someone's true intentions. You're
Yes.
finally looking at and trying to understand someone else.
Mm-hmm.
And our world doesn't do that and it doesn't emphasize that.
Yes.
So for me, I would want to play more games that have that insight. I would want to play more games where you're trying to solve a problem, trying
Mm-hmm.
to help another person, those types of things. I do love combat, but I love the idea of you had to get to that point to do combat.
Right, right. Right.
Right.
Okay.
Not
Fair.
just
Fair.
not just you walk into the room, you kick down a door, you don't know who that is, but
Yeah.
I roll initiative. And again, there's
Yeah.
time and place. Time and place as it goes.
I like
But
when the story leads into the combat. I like when there's like the back and forth and the conflict and there's something
hmm
happening and all of a sudden you're like, I'm sick of you. Let's go. You know? I
yeah.
like that as opposed to like you said,
Or
kick
yeah,
down
like
the
even
door. You know.
in your in the level 20 nonsense that we pulled on this channel
Oh
relatively
yes.
recently. There was a reason for it. Like there
Yeah.
was
Like.
there was the characters there had a reason for being there and why they were doing what they were
Mhm.
doing.
Mhm. Mhm.
And if you can believe what your character's doing, you can do it. You can play it and you can have fun doing
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah. I love that. That was
Yeah.
such a good game. I love that
That
so
was
much.
so
It was
silly. So
so
silly.
ridiculously silly, and I loved
So
it.
silly.
I'm still editing it, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Um,
But I know I love games like I said, like Guy Fieri's Bisexuals, where it's just this is a silly concept. I want to play a silly little guy with a silly little friend. And yeah, it's kind of getting back to it is like I hope that we get more games that are focused on the light of things.
yeah.
I know folks love their Space Marines.
Yeah,
I am
yeah.
probably not gonna find me personally playing a
Yeah,
space. I'm not like
look, I know people love
triggered or
Strahd.
anything.
People love Strahd, and they love their
I
Marines, and they
yeah.
love, I get it, I get it, I get
I
it.
know, but you and I
Um,
mean, we're both in Castleton, so we
yeah,
clearly know what we like playing.
yeah,
And like it's fun even like talking to some of my friends who are in Castleton who are combat frogs. Like they
yeah.
want to sit there, they want the crunchy, and then I use this, and then my bonus action I'm going to do this, and then like they have the stacks and layers in their mind. Hi, Nerdwitch.
It's Nerdwitch.
Yay! So I love those kinds of games. I
Hold
want
on,
those games to be more there
hold
because
on one
again, I
second.
think it goes back. Oh,
Oh
yep.
my God, it's Nerdwitch from the raid. Thank you, Raiders, for coming in, and I thank you, Nerdwitch, for the amazing raid. You guys are amazing.
hmm
We are talking with OhHelloMere. If you
hmm
don't know who this lovely person is, they are on Castleton, and they have been on Help Action Needed, and they have been on this channel on First Ever Classic 20, and they are freaking amazing. Thank you for the follow, and amazing historian, person, storyteller. Love them forever. We're talking about all
Oh.
things, not only TTRPG, but like we're going deep tonight. This
We
is
did, we
fun.
did. We went a little
We went
deeper than I
deep. We
meant
went
to.
deep.
Yeah,
That's
yeah. I'm sorry.
okay. I am
I went off the
happy.
rails.
I am happy. We are a happy camper. We have some really clippable moments. Nerdwitch is amazing. Can I get a shout out in chat for Nerdwitch if my mod can do
Huh.
that? I don't think I have a mod actually. I'll do it
I
myself.
was about to say, I was like, I could, like my mod instincts always click in.
Yeah,
I was
I
like,
just
can I?
realized I don't think I have a
Yeah.
mod tonight.
Oh no.
That's okay because I just did
I'll be your
it.
mod.
Woohoo!
There we
So,
go. Now I'm following.
woo!
Aha.
Yay!
But yeah,
Where is your sword? The fuck?
I ain't got one. It's
Yeah,
okay. Oh
no, but
yeah.
she's supposed to be a mod.
Nerdwitch
That's
got a
weird.
house.
No, she was a mod. That's weird.
Wow,
Where's your
wow.
sword? Let's remedy that situation.
I want to continue my Curse of Strahd game, but it's so far off the rails. I'm just making it up more than I'm comfortable DMing. Yeah, and that might be something to check
Yeah,
in. Like, I mean, this is not an advice stream, but that would be something to check in with your people
yeah,
and just touch base with them to be like, hey, what is it you're wanting to get from this game?
yeah,
What do you want to
yeah.
get from the game? Because it may have changed, it may have shifted. And
It
if
may have
that
shifted
is what you want to
greatly.
do, here
Yeah,
are my boundaries.
exactly, exactly. So,
You're allowed to DMs are allowed to have boundaries too.
100% and have fun. Speaking of, hey, cloud cover. Speaking of advice,
hmm
haha, lovely segue. What advice would you give someone that would like to emulate what you're doing in this social media space?
Hit me with that one more time. My brain went.
What? I love that your eyes just like went. What advice would you give someone that would like to emulate what you're doing in the TTRPG space?
Oh gosh. Say I don't know as often as you can.
Yes.
Say I don't know constantly. Like that is truly that is the big thing is that when I don't know something, I own up like on it as opposed to going, "Oh, well, actually,
Oh.
right?" So, I own up to it. A lot of my beginning bits of streaming when I started doing variety streaming, it's because I'm bad at playing video games.
Yeah.
I didn't have a video game console between the ages of like 17 and 31.
Mm,
So I missed this big golden age of gaming. And
yeah.
so while everyone else is in here like, oh, but the lore in Dragon Age 3, and I was like, I just wanted to touch his abs. I just wanted to touch the the Iron Bull's abs. Like, what did you want from me, man? Right? So I didn't. I was just like, he's pretty, and then it was like
He's pretty
my
and he has horns.
two biggest heartbreaks in there was number one, my femme character was trying to romance Cassandra,
Yeah.
and then got let down so gently, and I was devastated.
Like, oh my
um
god.
the second one was realizing, both loving and realizing that, oh no, the reason this happened is because this has happened to me in multiple times,
Mm.
thinking that I had a chance with Dorian, and then also realizing, ah, yes, this is just like high school where I fell in love with the gay man.
Yeah.
Dang.
Wait a minute, hold
S-
on. You didn't get Dorian?
okay, so like I knew, but it was like the thing where you hope, like, I'm in the
Oh,
theater, right? I
right.
married the I married the one straight man in all of theater. I am positive that my husband is the only straight man who has ever done theater.
Oh
And
my god.
like, and then he married my little bi tail, and I was like, well, this explains a lot.
Lot. Like, well. Oh,
So like I didn't play that. So like for when I'm starting to play a game, I I end up I let backseating happen to an extent because
mm,
I like teach people in my chat when they're trying to teach me to play a game. I'm like, you need to backseat me as if you're a teacher trying to give the answer on a test.
yes, yes.
Like when the
Not,
teacher's
don't
walking
give the
around and you're
answer.
like, Miss,
Miss.
how do I do this? And it's like, okay, you remember when we carried the one before?
Yeah.
Hmm?
There's
Think
carrying.
about
Think
that,
about
right?
carrying. Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so I love it when my chat will think of creative ways to try to, like, okay,
Oh, we're adopting this
it's like,
because
okay, so remember when this happens? Or if someone is like, no, instead of explaining to me, oh, here's how you find the da 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 da. If someone just says, press tab, and I'll be like,
like
what do you mean tab da da? Oh, right. So like that's in essence what
magic.
that's every let's play with me ever is me going, what do you mean to the, oh, okay, that, oh, ooh, okay.
See,
So
if we were like hosting and playing together, the problem would be you would be doing that, and I'll be like trying to figure out how to climb something I clearly can't
yep,
climb.
yep, yep, yep.
Like,
I saw a question in here a little bit ago. Who was it? I saw someone was asking about which chunk of North Carolina
mm,
that I'm in. Where do I was
if
here?
any,
Yeah, okay. Coast, Mountain, or Research Triangle of North Carolina. I'm from East Tennessee and West North Carolina. I am from Eastern North Carolina. I'm about 40 minutes away. I'm about 40 minutes away from the beach.
mm,
Well, I'm along some rivers that are there, but my family is actually from Western North Carolina. My family is from around the Hendersonville, Asheville, East Flat Rock area. So
also,
they got hit pretty hard with Helene.
ugh,
They were not the worst of the worst hit. The horse pastures are unable to have horses in them right now, but their home was fine. But the region around them, they were actually cut off on both sides.
mhm, mhm.
From a landslide on one end of the road that they were on and a washout on the other. So
Gotcha.
for about 10 days. Um, and they had to like walk down, like over the
Ooh,
mountain behind them and down until they could get to cell service for a
oh
little
my
bit of that time.
god, the heck?
Yeah, Western North Carolina and Eastern Tennessee still need a lot of love.
Mm.
Um, the media moves on without them, but yeah, so if you're from that area, I'm hoping that you're doing okay, cloud cover, because I know that that is a
Yeah.
region that has seen a lot of things recently. But think of it as when the DM asks, are you sure you want to do that?
Yeah,
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 I
yeah,
have
yeah.
no problem with my chat going, are you sure that's what
Sure.
you should be focusing on?
Yeah. I mean, I
We
don't
had
play a lot
to,
of games here, but when I do play games, it's a lot of me going, "What the fuck? Why can't I get up there?"
yeah.
I get annoyed, like, or I'm screaming at the like. I've been playing video games from since I
yeah.
was a teenager. I had an
Yeah.
Atari. Shut up. You know, I had an Atari. But that being said, so the other
Mhm.
question. So I want to get a little bit back to D&D a little bit because it's what we play. Um, if you and your friends, and I know
Mhm.
that you're in Castleton, and a lot of the games that you or tables you sit at tend to be homebrew. But
Mhm.
if you were stuck on a desert island with a few of your friends,
Uh-huh.
and all you had to do for 12 hours a day, 5 days out of the week, what setting are you running?
Mythic Odysseys of Theros.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, there are some incredible other ones, but especially not to mention if we are on a desert island,
Uh huh.
islands, Greece, Greco-Roman everything, right? So for me, I also just love it because there's also a larger pantheon of gods. You would be able to touch on classic stories. Um, and it's the one, it was like the first, it is the first book, it's the first book that I got because I like that its book itself.
Mm-hmm.
You have a temple for each of the gods that
Okay.
you could go for it. You have like all of the different other touchstones from Greek mythology. You have different you just have a lot that's within there. So for me, I have not gotten a chance to run it first
Right.
of all, but you have so many other touchstones from history that you could reskin it
Mm-hmm.
to do
Mm-hmm.
any kind of story that you would want to from there.
Oh
Um,
wow. Okay.
yeah,
That
you can pull from Greek myths, you can pull from Shakespearean tales, you can pull
so
from
fully
other
occupied for
fantasies.
12 hours a day, just like.
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, first of all, the big creature in it, the
Mm-hmm.
big bad that you fight at the end is harder to kill than a Terrace.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
Wait,
a CR 27.
what now? Excuse me?
Yeah, okay. This is one I want to play. This thing back here is like
Wow.
where is it? Hold on. It's a CR 20 stupid. Yeah. CR
CR20.
22.
Wow, what
This
is
thing is a
happening?
CR 22. It is invulnerable to basically everything, and it has a single vulnerability that I shall not give away here in case any of us get stuck on a desert island
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. But
Wow.
yeah, some of the things like it's pretty intense. It's a big one. It's challenge rating 26. That's what it
That
is.
is insane. I don't
Yeah,
think I've
challenge rating
ever,
26.
ever.
And it says, and like this is the thing, like to give you size, this is the thing, that's a little lighthouse.
That's
That
a
right there is a
that's a
tiny
lighthouse, and that's the
lighthouse.
okay. You know what? Pause. Okay,
Yeah, this
yeah,
one,
this is a problem. That's gonna be a
yeah.
problem.
So then, because what I could do is just, and like it has just all of the, you have so many different things. You have all these different gods. You have all of the different things. You could just do it where it's just the world starts over and it's the same pantheon of gods. That's for me if I were stuck on a desert island. And the best part about this is I have never once like played any card from this from Magic
Hmm.
the Gathering.
Oh
So
wow.
this
Okay.
setting is a Magic the Gathering setting, and I
Gotcha.
have never played that a deck or anything with it.
I
Yeah.
am so
Holocranos
resisting
the World
so
Eater.
hard not to play
Yeah.
Magic. Go back to Magic the Gathering. I'm
I
not.
just started. I
Not doing
just
it.
started.
Not doing it. I
It
refuse.
happened at PAX. It happened at PAX. I bought my first commander deck. I now
I
have
avoided
3.
Omega and you guys like the plague every time I
I
saw
just
cars
I
came
just
out.
wanted to sit by my friends, and then I have a picture. I have a picture. I'll have to share it at some point.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a picture of someone explaining it to me, and then it says 8, these pictures are 8 hours apart. It's someone explaining to me, and then later me sitting there with focus face on while I'm playing against Justin in 8
Oh,
hours.
how did I not see Justin there? I'm so annoyed by this, by the way.
Oh my god.
I
I
don't.
I
I don't understand.
adore
I don't
Justin.
understand. Like, I don't get it, but so many people. I'm
See,
like,
now I just want to play this some more. I'm like sitting here with notes in, just
so,
like
go ahead.
old
And,
ladies reading it, and
let's-
I'm like, oh, I could do this, right?
oh my god. So, um, do you DM at all? Oh
I
no!
do. Um, I do that actually. Yes, I do. Well, okay. This is just gonna be over here. Hold on a second.
I
My
woke my
white. Oh my god.
I woke the cat up.
I gotta put the ambiance back.
I woke up the cat, and she's like,
I
"What
did.
the?"
My hand was sitting here, it was laying on my hand, and I tried to do yeah. So, okay,
Oh
I
my
saw a
god.
couple of. What was the question? Yes, I DM.
You do. So when you DM, how do you prep for your games that you play it?
Oh, very poorly.
This is
So
a running
bad.
theme. There's a running theme happening here.
Mayor, how do you do this? Not well. Um, okay, so what I actually do, like a lot of how I end up prepping for games, I am a new DM. I've run like a one shot here and there. I actually have run more one shots. This is the wrong year. I've run more one shots of indie games on
Mm-hmm.
channels. I my very first run of D&D is actually happening right now for my home group, which is a
Mm-hmm.
group, like I said, of women who are over the age of 30. Some of them have kids who like playing, and some of them
Mm-hmm.
are just my theater friends, and they're like, "Oh, um, I never I want to play, but I didn't want to I don't want to be the newbie at the table." So it's a table of all noobs.
Right.
So I did homebrew a little setting
Mm-hmm.
because they gave me the three touchstones of Lord of the Rings, Jane Austen, and The
Okay.
Legend of Zelda. So they wanted
Gotcha.
lighter, they wanted brighter, they wanted to move through like that. So I will have a handful of NPCs. They just left First Town finally. Oh my gosh, now we're on the road,
Like
baby.
we're
It's
we're
been
we're
6
moving.
months. It's been 6 months and we're finally on the road.
I love
Um
it.
oh god.
I love it when DMs are like, "Please leave the fucking town." Jesus
Please
Christ.
leave this town. I didn't put that much in this town. We gotta go somewhere else, y'all. Um,
You shall blow up the town after a while. Like, listen, what's wrong with the town? The town's about to explode. You need to leave.
yeah, this one I yoinked a lot of the homebrew from Castleton.
Mm,
Not necessarily the characters, but the idea of the matching season. The
mm,
thing is, the year kind of like Bridgerton and everything is broken up into you have your matching season and your country season, right? Like you're in the
mm,
country and you're this. In this one, it is you have the matching season and the questing season. So if you want
mm.
to match with someone, you declare, and then their families or respective parties choose what your quest is.
Okay.
So if your families want y'all to get together, hey, can you go return this book to the library and the wizard tower over
Oh
here?
wow. Okay.
But if you don't want them to happen, it's like, hey, can you grab the talon from the blue dragon that's in the center of the hurricane that's been swirling off the coast for 500
Could you go
years?
die?
Could you go die? Right. So that way that way you can, depending on how strong your love is or how
Mm,
strong that connection is, um, you get that opportunity to.
I love it.
Yeah. That is I've been doing that. My prep for it, which I'm not gonna lie, is like half of it is I keep writing down what they've done.
Mhm. Mhm.
I knew that we needed some things, like we needed whoever's gonna get matched is getting matched, whoever's gonna
Okay.
get their quests is getting their quests.
Mhm. Mhm.
And then now that we're hitting the road, I'm gonna be able to do encounters. Like I have some
Yeah.
encounters like randomizers.
Mhm.
Um but I also, when they were in the town, I took one of the adventures from Candlekeep and put it in there because I wanted to see how I felt running a module or how I felt running a scenario that's pre-written. So a lot of my stuff is when we get to different areas,
Mhm.
some of those things will be some of those things will end up being words encounters that were pre-made.
Mhm. Mhm.
um there'll be encounters that are pre-made so that then I can kind of give myself like an, okay, this is going to take us about 3 sessions to get through.
Mhm.
Cool.
Mhm. Mhm.
Because I do all my stuff social, right? So all their roles for me are pretty much social. I think that uh like Taika Waititi, for all his flaws, said that he's like, when he was writing Thor Love and not Love and Thunder, Thor Ragnarok, he's
Mhm.
like, I have not written a single fight scene. I don't write fight scenes.
Yeah.
I
No.
write dry, meaningful humor. That's what I do.
Yes.
So I don't write combat scenes. Wizards of the Coast writes the names of the things I'm
Yeah.
supposed to fight,
That's it.
and then they can do that,
And
right?
also, like, it's
Yeah.
almost impossible. Like 9 times out of 10, unless I have a specific BBEG, I'm kind of just
Mhm.
like, I'm not. What's that's a lot.
It
Like,
is. It
it's a
is.
lot. Like, the
And
story's enough.
the thing that's been helping me is like I run the D&D club for the school now. Add that to
Yes,
my
that's
list of
right.
reasons why I'm really tired. I'm running a musical and a twice a month D&D club for the school and teaching a history
Like,
class and
I'm
helping learning
sleepy.
services. I'm tired. Plus all the TTRPG things around here.
Right.
I want to do it all. That's how I am.
And it's a problem
Um,
because
but
you
what I
can't.
did is I found I will use Dungeon Masters Guild. I
Hmm.
will support those awesome folks, but I saw a really cool way that someone set up a one-page encounter
Hmm.
that's easy enough to read so that I can have my students learn how to DM, at least for these little simple
Ooh, send
combats.
that to me, please and thanks.
I will. I will. It was really cool because then it's not like, here, keep it in this whole story.
Right.
They are just where they are defending and clearing. They're checking out the area around their main town. I had this
Hmm.
whole big plot put aside, and then I was like, oh my gosh, we only have 55 minutes to run this during lunch and tutorial. So yeah, so that is the like I've been learning as I've been trying to help others learn is
Hmm.
really the big thing for me.
I love
So
that.
if I'm trying to help new players as a new
Hmm.
DM, I'm now getting questions of what does a new player want to know? So that then the next time I get an opportunity to help a new player, I can anticipate that. It's the
Right.
same thing with teaching a lesson in a classroom. You find out what works, you find out what doesn't work,
Hmm.
and then you try to make it so the next time you teach that lesson, it's better and you
Right.
get more people who learn
Oh,
something.
I love it.
So really DMing and teaching are entirely too close. And streaming are
And streaming.
entirely too close.
Oh
I
my
saw a
God.
question in the
Oh,
questions. I'm so
so
sorry.
we're gonna assume we're gonna get to the questions in a couple more seconds.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
we got 2 more minutes. So
Two
real
more
quick,
minutes.
no, 2 more minutes before we get to questions because we have like a whole bunch
Oh,
of
okay,
time.
gotcha.
Um, he's like, "What do you mean? No, we're not
What
done."
do you mean? I can't hear.
Listen, there has been times. So there's been I could count on one hand the amount of people have gone over 2 hours.
Mhm.
Like I said, Savannah's one. Robert Hartley's another one. Some guy.
Mm.
There's some weird guy in New Zealand named Robert Hartley. He was
Oh
one.
my god, GM Rob is too cool.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah,
cool.
that guy. It's a constant trolling thing. It's weird.
That's cool.
Um, Savannah's another one. The other person who I've gone over with is and I'm gonna feel really bad. It's Neo Soul God. He's another one.
Mhm.
It's way over. So I don't feel bad when I go over 2 or 3 hours because it means I'm having a great time. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It'll be fine.
It's
It's
fine.
fine. It's no work. It's tomorrow's Saturday. It's okay. Um,
Exactly. Oh, that
it's
is,
Saturday.
yeah.
It's totally fine. It's been my belief that people who stream or who are in TTRPGs or podcasts and stuff, they wear multiple hats. They produce, they do
Oh, yeah.
tech, they act, they direct, they do all these different things. Um, where do you see yourself in these roles I've just talked about in the future? Do you plan on like sitting in one of these roles permanently or expanding into them or something along those lines? Or are you going to continue to wear all those hats as you continue to stream?
I think that my ADHD will not let me not wear hats if hats are available. Um, I think that my flavor of that is I kind of took the whole carpe diem, seize the day idea
Hmm.
and ran with it really hard.
Like,
Because it's again, it is, in a crazy wild world that we live in, I want to be able to experience everything that we've got.
yeah.
And I don't like saying no. We talked about that earlier about how that
So
is a
it's
hard thing. I don't like
so
saying
bad.
no.
Yeah.
Um, I really I don't know if for example, I could go ahead and tell you I probably would not be like, I'm just gonna be a TTRPG performer.
Hmm.
Mostly because I can tell I've been noticing as I've been watching, Castleton and my performances and everything in there, I can tell that I've been off the stage for a long time. I've been a
Mm.
director for a very long time now. I'm in my 5th year of directing
Okay.
multiple shows a year. So there is a I kind of like the ADHD thing is I can already feel myself getting the itch there. I keep
Yeah.
finding myself doing that thing that all teachers do around year 7 where I'm like,
Mhm.
"Is this really what I wanna do?" Like, year 7 of everything is like, "Do I really wanna do this? Do I have it until retirement at
Oh
25? I don't
gosh, like,
know."
oh, I am at
So
year 21 at the fire department. I'm just like, oh
ugh,
god, I got 5 more years to suck.
ugh, that's the thing is also, thanks Torin Talks
Thank you
Creativity for the
so much
follow.
for the
This
follow.
isn't my channel, but I'm gonna thank you anyway.
Thank you. It's been amazing. So thank you for being
Yeah.
here. So
Thank
yeah,
you for
7 years is
having
about
me.
the. It's about a. I think 7 years is an attention span where your brain kind of goes, listen, we're almost at this 10-year mark. Do something else.
Yeah, I think that is definitely something I'm feeling. But I also kind of am doing it from a place of I want to help. So I've produced a couple episodes of Connecting Castleton when our
Hmm. Hmm.
producer has not been able to be there. I um I have stepped in because again, I stream, so I can make OBS work most of the time.
Say, like I can get it to work.
And I can go into intense negotiations with OBS and it'll come out just fine.
Yeah,
Um,
until you kind of go fuck this shit. I'm done.
until it doesn't, and at which point I'm like, "It's me," but then OBS was like, "Ha ha ha, it was me all along." Um, I yeah, so I don't think I could ever do just that. I've never really DM'd anything on stream. Like, again, a lot of this comes down to I would need to make a decision on I would have to, like I would have to like, do mercenary work, like, I would have to come to terms with I would have to
Mm,
teach yoga classes, I would have to
yeah,
GM as well, I would have to do that in order to convince myself to have the creativity to do
right.
my own show, because I don't know who else out there is a teacher, or if you know a teacher, or if you're related to a teacher, or if you've ever been exposed to one. The number of decisions that you have to make at a constant level, it is unlike any other career I've ever had, and I've had a couple. I mean, I've worked on film sets, I've done a variety of things. I've worked in
Hmm.
customer service. Teaching requires all of those things, and again, the overlap between teaching and streaming is so thin. Like,
Yeah.
it overlaps in ways that I didn't realize my skills from streaming would help me
Hmm.
teach, and I
Hmm.
didn't realize my skills from teaching would help me stream.
Yeah.
But it's right now, neither can live while the other survives.
Exactly.
And so yeah, I would love to produce. I would love to, like, produce more. I love being on other folks' channels.
Hmm.
I don't know, I don't know what, else would be in store. I think I would like to write, um,
Mm.
especially now seeing, like, these formats for smaller encounters, like, I know the idea of a one-hour session seems crazy, or it seems chaotic,
I
I would
Yeah,
say.
because I'm like, how is that
Yeah,
supposed to happen?
but, again, it's like, how would I be able to do something where it's an encounter, but it has something so that the kids feel connected?
Mm,
And again, I think of, like, I would love to be able to put something together to help other teachers do that. Like, so
right.
for us who are in education, we don't make every lesson. Every now and then you have a couple of really, really good lessons, and then you slap that thing up on Teachers Pay Teachers,
Yeah.
and then someone else uses that lesson, and then you
Yeah.
do the same. Oh, dang, I need a different worksheet for this because this information's incorrect. The country that was on here doesn't exist anymore. Oh no. And like you have to like find and revise and you have to change it up as a teacher.
Right. Right.
So the idea of doing that, I don't know. So like I think if I were to do that, I would want to try and write for things for not just games for kids, but things to help other DMs. Like
Yes.
again, like I said, like you teach, you do your lesson, it doesn't go great, you try again, you do something
Do
else.
something else. That's it.
You
I love
improve
that.
it every
I love that. So we're getting closer to the time where we're going to ask some chat questions, but I have one more question for you that I love asking because it makes everyone's brain glitch. It made Omega's brain
Oh,
glitch.
this
I
is
love
about
it.
if it made Omega's glitch, I'm gonna sit back. Okay. All right, I'm ready.
If you could perform or DM for anyone, dead or alive, real or fiction, up to 5 or 6 people, who would it be?
So okay, all right. Oh, again, brain glitch. Am I talking one person or did you say 5 or 6 people that I would have at a table?
Up to 5 or 6
Up to
people.
5 or 6 people. Okay, okay. All right. I know a couple right off the top of my head. I would love to play a game for Mary Shelley,
Mm,
the
mm.
writer of
Yeah,
Frankenstein.
Frankenstein. Yeah.
I would love I would love that. I would love for that one to be almost like a GM list game. I
Okay.
think I want Mary Shelley at the table.
Hmm.
And I think I would love for Mary Shelley to learn to run Candela Obscura or Call of
Ooh,
Cthulhu.
okay.
Those are the things I want Mary Shelley at the table for. That's one. It would be one of those where I would probably have to keep myself from combusting. I would probably have to have a lot of liquid courage, and I
Mhm.
don't think that we would stay on track. I want Lin-Manuel Miranda at a table.
Really?
Oh my
He would be ridiculously silly. I
god.
think. I don't.
I would
I'm
love
actually. I don't know if he'd be silly or dramatic. I don't
take
know.
it super dead. It like I feel like Lin-Manuel
Ooh.
Miranda would play a lot like Sam Riegel would.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
I feel like that it would be that but different. I feel like everyone would expect Lin-Manuel to play a bard.
I
I
don't
don't
think he
think
would
he
play.
would.
I think he would play a fighter.
I think he would play either like a fighter, like
A
a very
bumper. Yeah.
stoic
Yeah.
fighter and
Yeah.
understand that. I think so yeah, Lin-Manuel Miranda I want at a table as well. Oh, okay. Um Okay, I would want this. I don't know if she would be able to run it because you and I were talking books very briefly
Hmm.
earlier.
Hmm. Hmm.
I want Tamara Pierce to run a game in her world.
Okay.
Tamara Pierce is my favorite writer of all time. She wrote the Tortel series, she wrote Emmeline series, she wrote like I'm desperate, like that's probably kind of going back a couple of questions.
Hmm.
If I were to do anything and put my name to it, I would want to develop a setting for uh Tamara Pierce's worlds.
Okay.
Like I just
Okay.
I just I need it because I'm dying. If Brian Sanderson can or not Brian, Brandon Sanderson can have it, then so can
like,
TP.
like,
Um
I need it.
I need it. So that's 3. Um Yeah, I just think that Mary Shelley running Candela Obscura would be great. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda in anything would be great. I think Tamara Pierce, I just need to live in her
Mhm.
world. Who else? Hmm. I think like those are like my solids. Like, and
Okay.
if
Okay.
I think those would be the ones that just I would want for me. I don't know
Okay.
if I would want to run anything for them. I kind of want those.
To
I
be
like,
there.
actually I would run for Lin-Manuel Miranda or just be at a table with Lin-Manuel Miranda.
Okay. Fair. Fair.
High
That's
key
fair.
obsessed. He tweeted me once.
Shut up. You know
Well, he
what?
quote tweeted me once.
Ooh. Ooh.
It was the year was 2015.
Oh
The
wow.
year was 2015. Hamilton was still on Broadway. It was the first Halloween, then Hamilton was on Broadway. And naturally, guess what your little Puerto Rican girl went as? Lin-Manuel
Of
Miranda as
course.
Hamilton himself. I had my tiny little goatee drawn
Oh,
on. I had a little poofy shirt that I buttoned up. I had tight little pants. I sewed buckles onto some I sewed buckles onto some little like cheap shoes
oh
from
my
thrift
God.
store. I got gold sunglasses that said swag on them. I
I can't. I
I
can't
did I
handle it.
tweeted a picture of just me practicing the makeup and I was like, "Guess who I'm gonna be?" Ha ha ha, Hamilton, ha ha ha. Duh. He quote tweets me and goes, "You and I have the same costume, but you wear it better."
Oh, we gotta get okay. So out of this clip, we're gonna need to figure out. I'm gonna figure out this clip, and we're gonna need to like post this clip on TikTok, and we're gonna
Send it to Send it to
tag.
him,
I'm
cause I
gonna
look
yes.
the thing is I looked like him, there's a handful of us strange and Puerto
I'm gonna be
Ricans
like,
look the same. I had,
okay,
like, had, like, the big floofy eyebrows at the time, my, like, bags under my eyes were doing their thing, I was kinda looking like a little gerbil, like, out there, like, just, like, with my little mustache kinda hanging out
oh,
here,
this is
and
gonna
I
get
was just
clipped
like,
on TikTok, and it's going up on TikTok, and I'm gonna be
"Please."
like, do you remember your cosplay buddy? She's back.
Cosplay buddy. Yeah, he like that was it was one of those things where then I kept getting so many notifications. My phone did that thing where it like stopped
Yeah,
buzzing to keep buzzing and
yeah.
it was unreal. But
Oh
yeah,
my
those
God,
I think would be my 3. I would love to have Mary
that's
Shelley, Tamara
amazing.
Pierce, and Lin-Manuel Miranda at a table.
Well, we have a question from Angry Meatball. He asks, "What is your
Yeah.
specialist area of history?"
Okay, so I have a degree in history and political science
Mm-hmm.
with minors in international studies and humanities. So
Mm.
for college, I was in the honors college in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I ended up doing my thesis. We had to do a senior thesis.
Okay.
I did my thesis on German prisoners of war that were kept in my hometown in a place
Mm-hmm.
that is now a park. Um,
Okay.
but throughout school, the concentration that I had in there was actually pre-World War II.
What?
The interwar years, and I was looking at that from a global perspective.
Ah. Okay.
So, yeah, like
Yeah.
what happened in between 1 and 2, which has hit a little different the older
Yeah.
I've
It's a little. It's a
gotten.
little. It's hit a little.
It hits different here in the
Oh.
year of 2020. Yeah,
Okay.
so
Ouch.
that has been one where I've very much because of that become like the cat that's staring at the corner of the room and
Go. Yeah.
making the little noises and no one knows what I'm staring at,
Yeah.
but I'm just sitting here going like
Going.
crazy.
Doing that.
Yeah, I'm doing that and they're like, "What are you looking at?"
Like. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that's that. So
Yeah.
that would be the big one.
Okay, okay, fair, fair. Well, Maple also asks, as a new GM, what's something you aspire to create or play that feels outside of your present scope? What's something too big right now that you hope to grow to?
Okay, too big of a scope would be like the Theros game that I would want.
Okay.
Um, that is too big for how I would want to do it. And I think of it in the same way as I do theatrical productions.
Okay.
There are so many shows that I love, so many shows that I would love to direct,
Mm,
so many shows that I'm not ready for or
right.
the area I'm in are not ready it's not ready for.
Right.
So like, that's, like, in the full-fledged wait for it, like, I would love to play or run it, I just don't think it's where it needs to be, or I'm not at the
Mm,
table I need to be at for it.
gotcha. Gotcha.
I would love someone to run it for me as
Mm,
well, but I also just need I have a way like, anyone who's ever directed theater or anything artsy, there's something that happens in your mind when you see how something you want it to go,
mm.
and you're not married to it.
Right.
It's like watching it's like watching ghosts play. I don't
Yeah.
know how else to explain it. When I'm looking at an empty stage, I'm watching ghosts going through what needs to do. I can see the lights, I can see those
Mm-hmm.
things moving.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's almost like I see it as an overlay of like when I am watching the actors on stage, I'm trying to watch things move through there. I
Mm-hmm.
think that same way when I'm trying to tell a story.
Gotcha. Okay.
where I'm like, I see the ghosts of where this could go,
Hmm.
but I know that I don't have the tech, the theater tech. I don't have the
Right.
lights, I don't have the sound, I don't have the special effects to make
Hmm.
this do what it is. Not necessarily that for a game, but I don't have what it needs to tell
Gotcha.
it the way I want to tell
Want to
it
tell it?
yet.
Yes, I gotcha.
But
Um, Meepo
yeah.
also asks, do you feel there is anything to adapt from RPG or similar group activities that can make teaching easier or make learning more engaging for students?
Yes, 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 yes. I was thinking of an idea. At the old school I was at, I taught ninth grade world history exclusively.
Okay.
And I had this idea the year before I left because I was yoinked over to teach a theater position, and in my state
Yoinked over. Okay.
I was. Well, in my state, I don't have a license in theater. I have a history degree, so I don't have a license to teach theater at a public school. So I was taken to an independent school or a private school,
Pause.
and that is how I'm allowed to teach theater. I miss
How
teaching in public
you
school,
need a
but yeah.
license to teach
Mhm.
theater?
Yes. So you need to have a theater teacher's license. So you need a teaching license for the in my state, you need a license for it. In fact, it's harder to get it in places like New York and California,
I didn't
where
even
you
know
have
you
to
needed
take
that.
different tests. Oh, yeah. You have to be licensed in order to teach in a public school, and you have to teach within your field. So, for example, English teachers can become drama teachers because drama is a part of what's covered in their license. I teach history. So there was no way. We tried looking at it because the theater position at the school I was at had opened up and I couldn't get
Right.
what I needed. Or I would have to go back and get a second bachelor's degree because master's degrees in theater are terminal. Like that is the highest you get. You don't get a PhD in theater unless it's
Right.
like
Right.
specifically a Shakespeare expert or something.
Hmm.
So I was not able to teach theater at the public school. The private school knew that. The private school knew my resume outside of it. And then they said, hey, come on over here. And I really loved the school I was at, but um I really wanted to teach theater and I'm enjoying
Gotcha.
it.
I love that. The other
But
part
yeah,
of that question was, does gamifying class help or
yes.
hurt in education?
It can be both. I think that gamifying in a paper and pencil setting is going to be better than gamifying digitally. And I say this as someone who, as a teacher, loves a day where all I have to do is put on a Kahoot or Blooket
Hmm.
and they are technically reviewing. The problem is when you start gamifying things, it becomes things like learning a sight word as opposed to actually
Yes.
seeing what the content is. I love a Blooket. I play the Blookets with the kids. I do. Because number one, nobody is better at factory than me.
Right.
Like I can't let these chumps beat me. And I can't. So and it brings out the demon in me as too.
Oh my
But
god.
um but Look It does a thing where they're so focused on the game that they're not focused on the content that the game is supposed to be teaching.
Gotcha.
That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Now, repetition, and that's the other problem is because they're doing it through repetition, and it
Mm-hmm.
has been proven through various studies that uh okay, here we go. There's a triangle, it's upside
Sit
down. At the
down.
bottom you have Costas level 1, which are the tiny questions, who, what, when, where.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have Costas level 2, which is comparative.
Mm-hmm.
How does this how does this affect this? How is this connecting here? So like Costas level 1 would be just who, what, when, where in a class. Costas level 2 is, oh, I can see how the scientific revolution connects to
Mm-hmm.
my science class. And number 3 is, what is something that we can do that can combine these things and I can create something new with it?
Right.
So it has been proven, or not proven necessarily, but there is evidence out there that shows that when kids create something with the knowledge that they have,
Mm-hmm.
or if they start creating something and realize they don't have the knowledge, that is what gets them to go back and understand what it is.
Ooh.
So when I told the kids that one of their projects was going to be creating a model of an ancient historical
Mm-hmm.
landmark,
Mm-hmm.
they then dug deeper because they wanted to figure out how they could make the Great Wall of China in Minecraft.
Oh, okay.
They were like, okay, how can I make this set up for this? because okay, well now I know this about the Great Wall of China, so I would need to do this. Maybe I would go ahead
Mm,
and look at doing a pyramid instead, but now I can use this in order to make the pyramid.
right.
They have to have an understanding of what they would need to include.
Oh, I love
So
that.
by them doing something in an avenue that they want to do,
Mm-hmm.
they end up learning what you wanted them to
To
learn.
learn. Gotcha.
They had that motivation. It goes from intrinsic motivation versus external motivation.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
I'm not going to offer you a piece of candy to do this, but I want you to show this. I want you to open up Minecraft in the classroom and
Right.
show us how
Show
you
how to
built
do it.
this.
Oh, that's
Right?
amazing.
So that way it's not a reward that's coming from outside, it's a reward that's coming from
From
inside.
inside, yeah.
So when you're gamifying something in this, right? Like so if you're gamifying using D&D as a way to do it,
Mm-hmm.
if you are I had this idea. It was such a silly idea and I didn't know how I was going to pull it off. I wanted them to make a character, an explorer character at the beginning of the school year that
Mm-hmm.
had stats and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And then I wanted to set up like scenarios. I wanted to set up scenarios for them where they could investigate things like if you're a rogue, you need to steal the Declaration of Independence,
Right,
right? Like,
right.
but have them do that as a part of the game to learn it.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Another one, there are actually other entire systems out there. The game Microscope is a game about world building. So the game Microscope involves world building as a part of it. So, and it's index cards. It's essentially just index cards.
Okay.
So I would love to like have that of being like, hey, we just learned all of the traits of civilizations.
Mm.
What can you create a civilization not just from where it is now, but part of its history and how
Okay.
it got there? How did they get here? How did they do that? So that was a big thing for me. So
I love that.
so teaching, nothing's ever going to make teaching easier.
Of
That's the
course not.
unfortunate part of that question. But engaging for students, even on a more basic level,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it's a story. I
Right.
think that people will say lecture is bad. Lecture might be bad, storytelling is not. And again, I'm blessed having taught history.
Mm-hmm.
History is one giant story. One
Huge,
thing leads to the next.
massive
You have
story.
your characters, you have the actions that a character takes, you have what makes them a villain, what makes them a hero. How do you
Mm-hmm,
have any
mm-hmm,
of that?
mm-hmm.
Is the hero actually a villain in the eyes of others? How did the others feel about this? What's the impact of it? Um, and that's what I love. So I would love to find a way to marry those two things. Do I think I'm ever going to create something that fully does that? I don't
Mm.
know. It's I think elements, but I don't know if I would ever have anything that is truly just a game, like
Right.
playing D&D for the class period.
Right. Which
That'd
is,
be dope.
that'd be so much fun. So I have one final question because I love this question. It's just one of those questions that popped up recently. Do you have any recommendations for creators to follow that are championing positive change in the space?
Oh my god, yeah. Okay, all right. Ooh, all right. Help action needed.
Yes.
Top of my
Sean
list.
is amazing.
Sean is incredible. Help action needed is I talk with Sean, I swear, just about every day, and half the time
Mhm.
it's mostly us just trying to threaten each other playing Super Auto Pets. But that's the thing is like we talk about a lot of the things that we talked about here. We talk about how much we love the space, how much we want the space to be better, how we can help the space be better, or how we can help others to be that change as well. So help action needed, huge person, huge, huge, huge. Also Jacob, who's got a new, what is
Does he
his
have a channel? A new channel?
he doesn't have a channel, but it is, I'm looking at what it's called. He does cosplay work. He does cosplay creations. Jacob, it's fantasies and something. I feel so bad. I'm bad friend. Uh, Fantasies and designs.
Okay.
So, he doesn't have a channel here, but he does have, he's another member. He plays Troilus on Castleton.
Yes. Yes.
We love him. And it's just a
Tech.
wonderful, wonderful
My
friend.
my character's son-in-law.
Yeah, your character's son-in-law.
Yeah.
Someone who popped in the chat here earlier, Craig of Inspiration.
Mm.
I knew that I knew I was doing something right. I knew I was doing something right in my home game when my friends started sharing Craig's posts in there.
Oh,
Uh,
nice.
like not knowing that Craig and I are playing characters parallel to one another in Castleton,
Mm.
but yeah, Craig's such a sweetheart. And then a lot of them are
Castleton
also
is so weird that I every time like a new episode comes, I'm like, they're in Castleton. Like it happens so
yeah.
often. Like
Yeah. Same thing, Mika as well. Mika and all the
yes,
folks at
Mika's
Roll D5.
amazing.
Oh my gosh, Game Master Monday, they're
Hmm.
incredible. Tabletop Tailspinner Software, Justin GM. Oh my gosh, I could just go on and on. Like these are some of the
Justin
folks
was
that
on the channel.
Justin was on the channel. Justin was in here too.
Yes.
Like I just again the overlap that we have. Whitney with
Whitney's
Smoking
amazing.
Glue
Smoking
Guns.
Glue Guns is amazing.
Holy cow, the
Yep.
dice.
Yep.
Rin Vixen, oh,
Yep.
like Jenna Daggers, like all of these folks. Like if you can't type them all up, but they're really just the folks that when I log onto Discord now, I'm logging onto Discord for them. Like they are the ones
Right.
who are bringing light to my day. They are the ones who are supporting. They're the ones who care about not just like, hey, want to play a game together, but like checking in on people
Yeah.
as people, which is huge.
Yeah.
And we're friends now. We're just friends. It's real cute.
Well, the final question is tell everyone what we can expect from Oh Hello Mayor, the content creator, from Mayor the person, and from you just in general.
Yeah. Okay, you can find me streaming on Oh Hello Mayor. I usually stream pretty early on not Mondays, Saturdays and Sunday mornings right now.
Mm-hmm.
I am not going to stream very late tomorrow. Might do some on Sunday, but
Okay.
you can find me on Castleton. I think literally tonight. I think
Yes,
something.
you were totally there, and I think you still are.
I know. I think my face is still on the screen.
Totally still there,
Uh,
probably. I haven't looked, but
I
probably.
haven't looked either. But I think that so I'm over there. You can also hear my voice on the Old Ways podcast, where they're best known right now for having run the entirety of both Horrors on the Orient Express and Masks of
Mm.
Nyarlathotep under Call of Cthulhu. But I'm also currently my shows there. I am in a Changeling, the Dreaming short run
Oh.
game. I'm also in a children it's called Children of the Periphery, where we are taking the Coriolis system but putting it into converting it into the Cipher system, which
Mm-hmm,
is
mm-hmm.
incredible.
Okay.
Oh gosh, I'm about to be in a lot of places. Like once March and April start, I'm
Mm.
about to be all over. So any of the folks that I was shouting out a little bit ago, you're probably going to find me wherever they are because I love
Mm.
them. And I just want to be where they are, and I want to do cool stuff with my friends, and that is like honestly the best thing ever is that I get to tell stories with my friends, and it's good stuff.
I love that. I love it. I adore it. I absolutely adore it.
I
Thank you
know. I
so
got to
much.
be on this channel, and I'm going to be on this channel again, hopefully sometime.
Yes, very soon. We're working
Yeah,
on it. We're trying to get ball running, getting back and up and running since the
that'll be
system is
awesome.
now fully systemed again and away from
Mhm.
like things that are falling on its head.
Uh-huh, uh-huh.
Graphic cards are in because why not? Um, we are back up and running, so we are going to be doing other things, guys. Tomorrow I'm going to be streaming. Nothing in particular because my brain did whatever.
Mhm.
And then
Me
Sunday,
too.
yeah, and Sunday we'll probably play a game. We'll figure something out. Sunday's world building. We need to fix the magic in New York because it is all over the place and ley lines are a thing, and we need to solidify that lore. But
Mm.
so yeah, my world is fucking weird.
Aw.
Like if you want to see a really weird world, come to New York. Hey, Sean, it's Sean. We
Sean,
were
I just
just
shouted out my
we were
friend.
just talking about
We
you.
just talked about you.
You're totally amazing. So yeah, we're gonna be doing some world building on Sunday. We'll be doing some writing tomorrow and some other stuff. We'll figure that stuff out. In the meantime, we're gonna head over to, I believe, we said ahead of time, we're going to Winter's Tales.
We're going to Winter's Tales. Oh my gosh, if we get jump scared, you get double the mare. Oh my
Oh
gosh.
my god, it's gonna be amazing. So guys, thank you for hanging out. Sean, thank you for coming in. And all the wonderful people who've been here, thank you guys for being here and supporting this channel and supporting me and making me feel amazing. Thank you to all the new followers. You are always welcome. I hope you stay. You guys so much have been like the best part of my day after coming home from work. So
Thank you, Torin.
thank you, Mir, for being here. This is amazing.
Thank you,
You
Sam.
guys are
I'm
awesome.
gonna pack myself into your backpack the next
Yes,
time
we
are
are
at a
figuring this
convention
out.
together.
We gotta get you to Australia with us.
Oh my gosh,
So,
wait, I gotta tell you though, you almost got a call from me.
why?
Okay, you almost got a call from me because the other night with 24 hours notice,
Uh,
my Delulu bestie and I both saw that Abria Iyengar, Neil Newbon, and Erika Ishii were on 20-Sided
they
Tavern.
are. They're gonna be
And
there.
they were there and it was like that night and or it was the next night and we both stopped what we were doing and looked at flights.
Yep.
And we went just delusional enough to sit there and be like, okay, look, the airport's just there. We could totally make it in 40 minutes, right? Like we
Yes.
can make it in 40 minutes and get boarded and get on the flight. It's like,
Yes.
how much? Okay. And then with the in-flight Wi-Fi, we can totally find a hotel, right? We almost did that and you were about to get a like call from 20,000 feet in the air. I was gonna be like,
It's
Sam.
not for nothing. If you guys had been on the flight, I'd be like, you don't need to get a hotel. You could come here and hang.
Good.
Because it would be like, just so you know, I have been to that show 4 times.
Oh my
I've been
gosh.
to the
For me,
show.
it's just like I saw the one where Erica and Abria smooched, and I went like,
Thank you
Black
so much.
Sparrow.
Oh my god, thank you so much for the freaking 2 gifted subs to Neo and to Craig of Inspiration. Thank you so much, Black
See,
Sparrow.
look,
That's
me
amazing.
yapping did good.
Oh my gosh.
Well, and then Gary Con, I have never been to Gary Con. I
I
don't
am
know
going.
what that is, but I know a handful of people are going.
I
I
am
don't.
going, and I need to find out who's going because I need to because I have a panel that I need to fucking fill.
Oh,
I need to know who's going.
When is it?
Sean. Sean's on the panel.
Sean.
Sean's on the
Like,
panel.
when
Black
is
Sparrow, are
it?
you going? If you're going, you're on the panel. I need people on this. I gotta
I
accept
don't
it.
know where it is.
I gotta accept. It's in Milwaukee. It's in Wisconsin.
Oh.
In Lake Geneva. So
And what time of year? When is
it's
this?
March 20th to March 23rd.
That seems really cold in Wisconsin.
It does, but I'm
But
going.
I mean, that seems cool.
I'm
you
going.
know?
I'm going. I'm going. I'm gonna get. I'm going. It's soon. It's very soon, and I need to get my shit together because I applied for a panel, not thinking. So here's the thing. For years, I've applied for panels for cons,
Uh-huh.
and for years they've said no. And then recently, this year,
They
last year
said yeah.
they started saying yes a lot, and I'm like, shit. I'm like, well, okay, I guess I'm going to this convention because I didn't expect them to say. I applied fully expecting a no, and I don't know why I did that, but here we are. So, Craig of Inspiration, and Sean, and Black Sparrow, if you're going to be there.
I mean, I could be convinced. I don't know
Come
what it's
on,
gonna
there.
take, but it's so many. That's so many dollars, and it's so there. And I'm saving up. Right now I'm saving up for Dragon Con and
Okay.
for the other one. I'm saving up for Dragon Con and I'm saving up for PAX U. So I've already got I've already got the place for PAX U. I will definitely be at PAX U in November.
I am definitely going to PAX U. I am going to GaryCon. I am going to Brooklyn Comic Con, which is super easy because it's in my neighborhood.
It's right there, yeah.
It's right there. And I'm going to Gen Con. I have 2 panels that were accepted at Gen Con, so go to Gen Con. So you should come to Gen Con. And I'm going to PAX Australia because
Whoa!
and I
Aussie land!
yeah, this is will be the second time because I promised Maddie B.
Second?
Yeah, I promised Maddie B that I would be there.
Holy cow! That
Yeah,
is a long, long flight. Well,
it's
that'll be so fun.
so you need to come to Gen Con. Okay, yeah, and Gary
Okay,
Con.
now I guess we could, yeah, okay, all right.
Okay, Gary Con and Gen Con.
Wait!
Yay! So we're gonna overtime, lots of overtime.
Sorry. It was just really cool. Like, we had a lot of fun. It was
We're
a
gonna
good
do
time.
okay. So we're gonna Gary Con in March, Gen Con in July, August, and then PAX U.
Heck yeah, brother.
See,
Heck
even
yeah.
Black Sparrow says you have to come to Gen Con.
Oh my gosh, I've never been. All right, I can check these
Oh,
things out.
you gotta
I
go.
want to get a creator badge this year. I'm not
Yes.
saying that it gives me too much validation, but last year I didn't get one at PAX U. But I was also just a little guy, so I'm thinking I'm trying to be like a little more of a
A
guy
little
this
bit more.
year.
Yeah. So
It's
that's yeah.
gonna be a little more of a guy. It's not like it's gonna like change who I am as a person or
It
anything.
doesn't, but you totally need to come.
I totally want. I want to
But
get the cool room.
I
I want to
know.
be. I want to put my
I
bags
know.
down by the
I
bags.
know.
Yeah.
I know. It was fun. I got a creative badge. I was super excited because
Yay!
I usually get like a GM badge or something like that because like GM tables, you know, and
Mm-hmm.
they're
Oh
like I was
yeah.
like
I
I
guess
got a
I could do that. I could try to
yeah.
do it on the table.
They're fun. They're a little bit they're a little bit stressful, but it's definitely fun. Definitely do it. But come to Gen Con.
Yeah. Ah!
Come to Gen Con. You have to come to Gen Con.
Yeah, I'm so sorry. I just got jump scared. I'm on the
Why?
screen on the other place.
Okay, all right. So we're gonna go over to Winter's Tales, guys. Thank you for being here, and all the people who I said that need to like join the goddamn Discord so that we can talk. Because guys, we need to talk. Join my Discord, so you guys can talk. We can talk about Gary Con and all that other stuff. And love you for being here. You guys are amazing and just wonderful. Mayor, thank you for being my very special guest. And guys, remember, it's always better to be kind than to be nice. If you can't be good, please be careful. Love you forever. Bye.
Bye.